Hello, how is everyone on the internet? And if you're not on the internet and you're simply just letting the internet carry my voice to you, I hope you're enjoying the gym or painting a lovely picture or whatever people do when they listen to podcasts. I don't actually listen to that many podcasts, funnily enough. This is where most people would put some sort of like pretentious reason why. I find it kind of dilutes my own content. You know, when people like musicians unfollow all other musicians, I find it kind of dilutes my own art. Get fucked, you pretentious fucking prick. Hello, I've got some things that I need you to do immediately. Number one, I'm up for a Heavy Music Award for the best podcast, and there's a bunch of really good podcasts on there. I'd really like to win. Will Putney's got a Heavy Award. It's actually heavy. It just looks really good. It's just a really good award. I'd really like to win. It'd be nice to win. I've made it really easy for you. If you go to vote for Craig, C-R-E-G, because I think I'm funny, .com, that will send you to the Heavy Music Awards voting thing. Sling us a vote. A bunch of good podcasts on there. Daniel P. Carter's Swim. I'm not going to tell you all of them because you're going to get ideas. Oh, I'll vote for that one instead. No, I asked you first. Please do it. Secondly, blah, blah, patreon.com/the Downbeat. Blah, 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 merch, www.thedownbe.at. So it spells Downbeat. Blah, blah, blah. My guest this week is Hana. I should have asked her. Devore? I hope it's not Devore. I'm fucked if it's Devore. What an exotic name, though, if it is. Hana Devore. Unreal. Can't believe that. I'm going to find out right now. I'm literally going to leave this in as well. Okay, stay where you are. Hello. How do I pronounce both of your names? Because you're American and these things are hard. Please reply ASAP. Okay, so I'll continue talking and then hopefully she'll reply and she can actually say her own name via technology. Anyway, she is a pro fitness competitor / coach. I don't want to use the word influencer, but influencer. She's a biohacker. She used to be she still is technically a professional bikini model, but she's got a massive social media presence. Big in the world of biohacking, health and fitness. Just really interesting shit that I'm interested in. Not even from like a fitness point of view, a lot of brain shit. We talked about brain shit, hormones, getting your shit in check, meditation, wellness, I want to say, without sounding like a grifter. Anyway, give me money in the Patreon and I'll tell you how to be well. Don't want to come across like one of those people, but wellness. Well, a wellness person. Yeah. I wasn't going to mention it, but I realised that we start the episode talking about someone called Andy, who is her boyfriend, who is Andy Williams, also a ex-Downbeat guest. And you know what? I didn't want to say that because she's not just Andy Williams' girlfriend, because I knew her before then. Not like that, but I've realised that quite a lot of it we reference Andy, and at no point do we actually talk about which Andy we're talking about. So if you're a Downbeat fan, you actually know this Andy already. But don't you dare come for me saying, oh, he's reduced her to someone's girlfriend by introducing her as that and then doing a lengthy bit on the intro to the podcast, trying to get himself out of that. You fucking idiots. Anyway, what's happened is she's read that message now because I can see it's disappeared. It was a voice thing. So hopefully she's going to send a voice note back, and then what we're going to do, we'll just... Come on. I've got a different message. It's not from her. It's from someone in my band. Are you still there? Don't go anywhere. It's a long episode, but it's going to be real nice. Nice quality. Delightful quality. Are you looking forward to it? Are you excited? I'm excited. Maybe you're listening to it on the Patreon. in higher quality. No, it's not higher quality, is it? I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, a little bit of side news. I'm trying to make everything video from now on. So you've actually got one more episode after this. And then I'm actually stopping submissions for audio podcasts in the hope that it makes everyone want to do the video one. If not, I'll probably turncoat on that situation and go back to doing the audio. The audio one will still exist, don't you dare worry, but I'm hoping to provide you with a high quality video one as well. Okay, she just replied.
Good morning. My name is pronounced Hana Devore.
I was right.
Hana Devore.
On the Downbeat podcast. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Are you fucking stoned?
No. I had like a little, I had like a, but I have my coffee. I have like shit, I have coffee that you don't approve of. And
I approve. What is it? Starbucks. I need you to do one thing.
Yeah.
When Andy did the test for me.
Yeah.
He would have been facing into the microphone, wouldn't he?
I think he had, so the mic is right here.
Yeah.
It is on a stand, by the way. He had me,
Nice.
I think if I just sit right here and I talk like kind of loud, this was how I was doing the tests. And he said that it was working.
That's fine then. That's absolutely fine.
I might just have to like yell at you a little bit.
You can yell. That's fine.
Okay.
So
I love your studio.
Thanks. It's
beautiful.
I just like everything pink and purple.
Yeah, and like you're matching your shirt. I love it.
Branding.
This is better than Joe Rogan.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm going for, right?
better than Joe.
Honestly, I bought all of because obviously that's the standard for podcasts.
Yeah.
But his video, you would expect to be like Christopher Nolan looking, and it's not. So when the world opens up, I'm planning on doing video, but I'm going to make it look like a movie.
It's going to look really good. Okay, cool.
So that's why I bought all of this stuff, and then the world closed, and now I'm just sat on my fucking own doing nothing.
So then you'll have people come to your studio and sit with you.
I've already asked Andy. Andy's actually the first person that I asked.
Well, he has a UK tour, so
that's what. Yeah. The minute I saw it, I was like, "You're coming." They're playing like 12 minutes away from here.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm gonna steal him.
Yeah,
do some shit.
Yeah.
So where are you, Buffalo?
Where or why?
Well, where, but also. I mean, I know why. I know. Why are you in Buffalo?
We're just south of the city. We're in the suburbs, which is really, it's funny to see Andy like turn into like a suburb dad guy. And he's like, but he loves it because you know how he is, that he just likes to start shit. So he's trying to like kind of be like those guys. He'll like go outside with like the snowblower and try to like.
I was just about to say.
Yeah.
I was just about to say. Like,
and he'll be like,
my head,
well, Dan down the street is doing it this way. Did you see how he did his lawn? Like, maybe we should do this.
I was just going to say lawns. That was the first thing I was going to say. Like, all I can see is Andy. I'm sure there's an ETID DVD anyway where Andy's doing a fucking lawn. I'm sure I've seen it, like an old one.
Yeah.
But the imagery just immediately in my head, just like, oh. He's got big dad energy.
He has
in a good way.
He does, but he's also just so like not that guy. Like all of the guys in this neighborhood, they all drive these ridiculously big trucks for no reason. Like exactly what you like. It's probably like an American like stereotype. I don't know if you guys have like just big ass trucks for no fucking reason over there.
No, you guys have that.
Love to drive a truck for no reason. Not hauling anything. There's nothing in the back ever. And that's like the neighborhood that we live in is just dads with trucks. And
dads with trucks with stickers on the back. Yeah.
And the stickers, like, I don't know. It's something about a gun, something about guns, basically. But yeah, so she's like, I don't know. God damn it. I lost my microphone. Hold on. Okay. I think we're good. So he's like, maybe I should get a truck. I don't know. Maybe I need like a big truck, but he didn't do it. He got a tiny SUV. So he's just like big man in a small SUV.
I mean, it's still an SUV though. America's got that shit on lock.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get on slightly onto topic because I need to think of this anyway. What do I put, like, next to your name on the podcasting thing?
Yeah.
I will have to put what you do.
Yeah.
But so, like, initially, I think I started following you on Instagram because you were does it count as bodybuilding, like bikini?
Yeah, it does. It's different, but it's the same. It's like,
so what's the official title?
Technically I'm a professional bodybuilder, or you can say professional like fitness competitor. That kind of, I feel like that's easier for people to kind of wrap their heads around. Or you can just say like fitness pro.
Fitness pro, yeah, that'll be the one. People listening to this will be like, I can already see what it is, so fucking get past this bit. Fitness pro is the one. Yeah.
So if I was like every other fitness pro, I would put that in my IG handle so that everyone would know, but I just do my name. So but yeah, so technically I'm a professional bodybuilder. I'm in the IFBB, the International Federation of Bodybuilding, but I do bikini, and I kind of just do it when I feel like doing it. Like I don't know. Sometimes I don't really, it's hard to like identify with, it's hard to say like, oh, I'm a bikini pro, because I kind of compete like every now and then. And sometimes, like one time I just took 3 years off, and I'm like, do I still call myself a bikini pro? Like technically, I guess. So
I don't know how it works. When you get the pro card, how does it work? Because I've had like a power lifters on here, and they've told me how that works, but I don't know how the IFBB is like that's the top cream of the crop.
Yeah. So like that's like, you know, when you watch the Olympia, that's the IFBB. So that would be, if I wanted to really push this, that would be my next goal, would be to go to the Olympia, like to qualify for it. But how it starts is, so you start competing in the NPC, which is amateurs. You're definitely not getting paid for anything. You're paying a lot. It's probably like $1,000 a show if you add everything up. So you compete in the NPC. If you have to win a show and qualify for nationals, go to nationals and then win that, and then you turn pro. And then from there, pro card. Yeah.
Is there money?
I mean, not much. Not much. It's not like, it's not a career. It's interesting. And like, you know, when Andy and I talk about wrestling, like even when you're just starting out, like you're getting like an appearance fee. So it's just interesting that like in bodybuilding, you barely get paid. You're basically out of pocket for a lot of it. So it's not a job really. Like most people have to have, you know, a full-time job. If you are winning pro shows, like in bikini, the purse isn't very much, but maybe like a few $1,000s. And then of course you win more if you're like
sponsors.
Yeah. Again, not a lot. So you really like, you have to have a career of some sort, which, you know, a lot of people, they'll do coaching if they don't have, you know, something else like a day job. I have a day job in marketing. And then I do a little bit of coaching on the side. I keep my roster like really short because it's just too much. But yeah, competing is expensive. It is.
So it's basically like fucking music. Everyone thinks that you're rich as fuck, and you're not.
Yeah, I think that, there's that assumption, right? It looks it looks glamorous, and then, you know, when you actually like get into it and you realize, it's a little,
I think
it's a little different.
When I realized that bodybuilding might not make that much money was when I saw Ronnie Coleman selling that cream. The fucking, do you know the cream?
No, what cream? What?
Oh my God. So Ronnie Coleman, like a weight loss, like cream. It looks like a Tim and Eric thing. It's called
weight loss cream. Oh my God.
It's called like fucking shrink cream or something.
Oh, like Sweet Sweat or something? It's probably Sweet Sweat.
No, it's not even that. It's just a fucking cream that burns fat, apparently.
Yeah, and you have to think about that the bigger you are, so if you know, there's like these levels of divisions, and you know, at the top are guys like that. And the bigger you are, the more drugs there are involved, and that is really expensive. Like the good drugs are incredibly expensive. So I know that the male competitors have...
Good shit's always expensive.
Yeah. I know that they have a harder time. I've heard a lot of stories, a lot of kind of dark stories, because they just have such a hard time. And if they don't have another job and they're trying to afford these drugs and then competing and traveling, like you have to travel to these shows. You got to fly and get a hotel room. So I've heard that it's really tough for them. So my shit's easy. My shit's real easy.
I had a friend, Luke Sandow, who was going to Olympia last year, and he died. And
oh shit!
He was at the Arnold Classic, and he was doing Olympia, and then lockdown happened, and then this is fucking dark. I was going to do a podcast with him on the Wednesday, and I spoke to him on the Sunday, and he was like, yeah, like we're just chatting about how shit lockdown was. Doing the podcast on the Wednesday, died on the Tuesday, and his best friend came out and said that he'd killed himself, and they found him. But the family came out and said that it was some sort of heart failure.
Yeah, and we hear about a lot of heart failure in bodybuilding.
But it's like a weird, like, his best mate
that's weird.
Said they found, and like posted, you know, checking on your friends stuff, like, which would suggest suicide. And Luke had talked about like mad shit like that before. Like me and him used to talk quite openly about feeling fucking mental. And
so he was kind of he did have some stuff going on in his
the family said heart failure or something like that. The weirdest shit.
I don't know, and it's probably hard for actually my stepbrother killed himself, and I think it's like for the family to talk about it, there's almost like a weird kind of shame, or I don't know. I think it's maybe they just don't really want to put that out there. Yeah.
This got fucking dark really quick. Let's fucking make it
let's just talk about suicide.
Anyway, so you don't get paid, but you have a full-time job in marketing. The reason you're here is to tell me about biohacking, but I don't want to go fucking straight in there. Because you got like quite an interesting like. Yeah,
we have like a lot of parallels too. Like I was excited to talk to you because there's just some parallels. There's like coffee, like I worked in specialty coffee for a while. There's music, like I was raised in the music industry. So I feel like there's some parallels. And then like in the last like year and a half, I know that you've been focusing on some stuff with like the mental aspect of biohacking, and like that's been really interesting, like getting into the breathing shit and, you know, all that stuff that people don't really want to do, but that actually works.
I have gone real deep, and that's why I don't want to I don't want to blow our podcast load immediately right now. You got to
make people wait.
So, exactly. We got to fucking do a little bit of there's a little bit of podcast chat before the podcast fucking real shit happens.
A little witty banter.
So, why don't you work in coffee anymore? Coffee's the fucking best.
I know. I had so much fun, and I was just thinking recently, I was like, because so the biggest coffee convention in the US is SCA, and I had to go to it a couple of times. It was in Seattle. It's huge. It's so much fun. And there was like one of those like Facebook or Instagram memories things, and it said that, you know, 4 years ago I was at that thing, and it was it's such a fun industry. I left because I had a really cool opportunity in LA. I had been consulting for this small frozen food company. We were making, you probably heard of it, that Real Good Foods. It's like that low carb pizza.
Yeah.
So I had been their marketing consultant. They were like a tiny team, like 4 people. I was consulting for them on the side, and then they offered me a full-time gig as their vice president of marketing. So I just kind of had to take it. It was just too good of a gig. And like, I wanted to be close to my dad, and I kind of wanted to be back in LA. I was living in Northern California at the time. So I took that job, but coffee's the shit. It's so much fun. I love, like, because before that I worked in wine. So I did wine marketing for 10 years in Napa Valley.
This is all while competing bodybuilding.
Yeah. Yeah. I started competing when I was working in wine. Yeah. Because I remember like bringing my little like lunch. When I was first starting out, I was so proud. I would bring my little lunch box into the winery, and everyone would just be like trash, and I'd be like eating my broccoli, and yeah. So I worked in wine for a while, and it was very fun. But the generation that dominates the wine industry is older, very traditional.
Fuck off.
It was
done
like,
with old people. I'm seriously done with them.
You're just done with them?
I'm just done with them.
That's good, because COVID's just taking them out, so that works.
Honestly, I'm sorry if anyone's had an old person taken out by COVID, but for the majority of old people, just fuck off. I'm done with you. You're voting for the wrong shit. You're doing the wrong shit. It's our time now. Yeah. Just stay indoors. You might die from COVID, so everyone stay indoors and we'll just fucking do whatever we fucking want. Yeah, except you're going to meet my dad at some point, like if you play a show in LA or something, and he's the coolest old person. He's almost 80, and he's still like doing shit in music and just like going for hikes and like smoking weed, and he's just like the coolest hippie. And you'll be like, what the fuck? Stay. You're 80? He can stay. Like how? My parents can stay, and then everyone else can go away. Okay. This is what I want to say about your dad. Huh. Because I've seen a number of times he or you or someone has a Fleetwood Mac gold disc. I've got it probably. So yeah, it's right here. So what did your dad do? What's his deal? And then this is his REO one. So my dad's a record producer. And he worked throughout like the 70s, 80s, and then did a little bit of stuff in the 90s, and then kind of like essentially like as soon as everything switched from analog to digital, like as soon as Pro Tools showed up, my dad was like, I'm out. So really? But he was also like he was at retirement age, and I think he was just so far along with it that as soon as that happened, and I remember talking with him about it, like as soon as you could basically record an album in your own house. Yeah. I think that maybe he felt, I don't know, maybe he felt like he wasn't needed, or he felt like, fuck, I'm going to have to completely relearn everything. I remember him being like, I'm going to have to fucking learn Pro Tools. And I'm like, and he was in like his 60s. Like, so yeah. So, the Fleetwood Mac one was over there. He, I think he engineered that one. REO Speedwagon, he worked with for a long time. So those guys are all like, the lead singer's my godfather. They're like our family. Wow, so like I grew up crazy really with those guys. He did most of REO. He did a lot of Foreigner. He did a lot of Fleetwood Mac because I believe he did Rumors too. And then like he did some cool shit up in Northern California, where the record plant is in Sausalito. He worked with Santana and Grateful Dead. So there's like really cool stories about that. Like I feel like there needs to be like a documentary, or I need to like write a book or something, because my dad is just, his whole journey is really cool, and he's a sweetheart. So he kind of like, he was I think kind of naive and kind of he gave people the benefit of the doubt a lot. So he got, there were times when he might get kind of like walked on. No. But he's... Now I feel bad for the stuff I said about old people. I was joking anyway. No, but he's just like... I was joking. My dad and Andy are really similar. Like, just fucking sweethearts. Like, of course they are. That's Freud right there. That's you. You've picked him for that reason. Exactly. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. Yeah, music. Sweetheart. Yeah. My mum is Scottish. I now live in Scotland with a woman who's from Scotland. All right. Like, it's there it just is. What fucking that's what happens in your brain. Yeah. As long as you do it in a healthy way, right? Fuck my mum or anything crazy. No. Like, yeah, but you gravitate to whatever what's comfortable. Yeah. And but the hope is that you do that in a healthy way, right? Because like my dad is awesome, my mom is not cool. So my mom's like, she's got problems. I haven't seen her since I was 15. So I think what I did first when I was dating was I dated her a couple times, I found someone like her. And then I went, oh shit, okay, I see what I'm doing. I felt like people like that kept being kind of like given to me. And it was like hey, you need to learn your lesson and move on. Yeah. And then I feel like I finally did. And then, I went and found my dad.
my daddy. He's my daddy.
The fucking best though. It's
I know.
When
He's
you two got
great.
together, I was just like, that's some
Yeah.
fucking Brangelina shit.
Jacked Brangelina.
Jacked Brangelina.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like work out together?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We don't do the same thing though, and I will never do that with anyone. I won't do that with my girlfriends. Like that thing where you're working out with someone and you're doing the same exercises. I can't do that with anybody. That's just.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm so
Come on,
used
give
to.
me the pro. The pro.
I'm so used to doing it on my own. Like I like to have headphones in. I don't like to talk to anyone. I really like to get into like a zone. It's very meditative for me because and that's like lifting really, if you think about it, it really is meditation because you're focusing on, hold on, I gotta adjust my phone here. You're focusing on your breathing. You're not thinking about other things. It's just, you're just doing something by yourself. You're kind of in your own head. And that's essentially meditation. You're breathing and you're kind of blocking out the rest of the world. So when I started lifting, I started doing it alone. I didn't start with anyone. I didn't have a trainer or anything. So I think that I'm just used to doing it that way and just kind of, being on my own.
I think I'm in two minds about it because since lockdown, I've got like my own little place to work out now. And I do love having my own music on. Yeah. And just, there is something about just when you've got a song that you really like and like a breakdown hits or something real heavy hits, you can work harder. It's like proven that you can do it. But if I don't hang out with people at the gym, I don't ever hang out with people. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, there's that.
I'm so like bad at keeping up with friends or whatever. So when I lived in Reading, I used to hang out with my mates at the gym, and that was like your social
thing.
Yeah,
that's like you're going to a bar, like
exactly. Yeah. So when I moved to Nottingham, that was literally all I had because I had no friends. So I loved training with other people, and now I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
Do you work out? Half.
Is it? How do I pronounce her name? Is it Laika? Laika. Do you guys work out together?
I've started getting her to come, and because she has the biggest booty in the world, like genetically.
Yeah, she's already got that.
Hasn't squatted. So
just
then
amazing.
she wanted to like tone up or whatever, and just I had to obviously have the conversation of all you need to do is exercise. Yeah. You don't need to do the specific. Yeah. You don't have to do sit-ups to get rid of anything around your belly or whatever. It's amazing. I can only imagine how infuriating this is to you. But even like friends on tour that express like interest of wanting to work out, and then you're like, yeah, just do this. Count your calories. Do this. Yeah. And they go, should I be doing? I feel like I should be doing more sit-ups because I wanted to go from there. And then you're just like, I just fucking face palm. Yeah. But could you please explain why that doesn't work?
So we all have abs. Even someone with a shit body has abs, right? Everyone has abs.
It's such an un-PC way of saying it.
They're under
just
there.
A shit body. Not like, someone that's maybe let themselves go. No, someone has a shit body.
Like we've all got them. They're under there. They're just under fat. So that's why you can see, like, there's a difference between someone who's jacked and someone who's skinny. And I think that sometimes people misconstrue those. And we see this in wrestling sometimes. And I'm always looking at people's bodies in wrestling because I'm just like fascinated by the different shapes and looks and characters. And just in general, there's people who someone would see them and go, oh, they're shredded. And it's like, no, they're just skinny. There's a big difference between someone who's jacked because they lift. Yeah. But yeah, so everyone's got abs, and it's just how much fat is on top of them. And it's just fat.
Doing anything localized doesn't take it away from that area.
Yeah. Core strength is great. And that's how people need to think about it. It's core strength because your core is, it's stabilizing everything, right? So work your abs and work your core because you don't want a back injury. Like that's the only reason I work my abs is because I don't want to hurt my back. I would need my abs to activate.
It's not going to give you a six-pack without getting rid of the fat, which is just through exercise, not through anything stomach-related, like more stomach exercises.
It's not like they're going to pop through your fat. Like you have to get rid of your fat first.
That's what people think.
I know, and it's crazy. Yeah, when I see like overweight people doing ab stuff, I'm like, this is such a waste of time, and I feel bad, and I obviously can't say anything, but I feel bad that they're wasting so much time because
they could do body weight squats. And they would fucking burn a lot of calories.
Yeah. And really that's what they have to do is they just have to burn calories. So I could do no ab exercises and just diet down and I would have abs. But of course, as you get older and you start like hurting yourself as a bodybuilder, you're like, fuck, I have to train my core simply because I don't want my back to go out, because like that in the past few years just like started happening. It's like I hit my 30s and then my back was just like, it just started to go.
Wait. How old are you?
I'm about to turn 35. One month from today, I turn. Yeah. 1 month from today, I turned 35. Younger. Really? Oh, that's cool. That's great.
Respect.
You were like, Andy.
Yeah, I'm not going
to. What's Andy doing?
I didn't think like real young.
Andy and I we love talking about our age discrepancy because he'll tell me a story of something that he did when he was 15. Like he'll be telling me something cool about when he was 15 and I'll just say, yeah, I was 6 years old. Like it's just, or like when I started going to Every Time I Die shows when I was 14 and he was 23.
Yeah, but for the record, you didn't know each other then.
We didn't know each other. No,
thank God.
We didn't meet until I was Yeah, you know, I met Andy when I was 14. We fell in love.
How did Andy get cancelled? Oh, his girlfriend did a podcast.
And revealed.
Fucking hell. Right, yeah. Okay, so for the record, no, they've only met in the last few years.
Yes.
I'm still on this fitness thing because you're a wealth of knowledge. Okay, so I've got getting older. How much does getting older actually play a part? Because I was about 3 years ago, I was fucking jacked. Like, in fact, no, probably just a bit skinny and a bit jacked. But it was the best fucking shape that I've ever been in. And I worked out pretty fucking hard, but it was like relatively easy to have and to maintain. And then lockdown happened last year. I hit the bottle real hard. And then like just got a little bit fatter and I can't get rid of it.
I think, are you tracking your calories?
Yes.
Have you tried dropping them down? Have you tried taking some food away?
Yeah, but no. So this is what I'm getting at. So I was like cutting on 2,900 calories last time, and now I'm on 2,300, and nothing's happening.
Yeah. So it could be due to lockdown, just the fact that maybe you're not getting outside and just getting that non-exercise activity as much.
Oh, steps and stuff.
That's everything for me. And
there's steps happening.
Yeah. And there is really something to be said for getting outside and getting sunshine. I think that there's a whole lot of studies on that. And I believe that basically sitting inside and not getting natural light has an impact on your metabolism. I just saw a study the other day that I'll send to you, but yeah, it's activity. It's movement. And that's like, it's funny. I can go on vacation and not work out and just kind of eat whatever I want. But if it's one of those vacations where I'm walking a lot, I'm walking like miles a day, I'll come home and I'll just have dropped pounds, even though I like flew, ate a bunch of garbage. It's movement for me. I have to get steps.
You just completely nailed that immediately, because I've been racking my brains, but
Yeah. I think,
I didn't even think of non-exercise movement, and I'm doing none. Like when that was happening, I was walking my big old dog for like probably a mile every morning, and then
just think of your daily activity. Yeah, just think about like getting in your car, going here, you park, you walk in, you walk around a store, whatever. Just things, just the way that we used to live. There was just naturally more activity, and the tiniest things add up. And there's a pie chart that I'll have to send to you that shows your daily caloric expenditure and where it comes from. So you burn calories when you work out, you burn calories when you eat food, and you burn calories when you do just regular activity. They call it NEAT, N-E-A-T, non-exercise activity. I think it's thermogenesis. One of those big words. But that non-exercise activity makes up like a huge part of the pie chart of your daily caloric expenditure. And it's just the shit that people don't think about. Even like fidgeting, like people who sit and like fidget a little bit, they actually burn a lot more calories than someone who doesn't.
Sick.
Because all that, just starts shaking. Are you a fidgeter?
I'm a fidgeter.
That's
anyway.
great. That's great. Everyone should be. I'm not.
I should just be fucking doing more shit. But that really annoys me because I love to eat. So
jump on it. I mean, like just try jumping on this app. I swear for 1 week, give yourself a step goal. Mine's 10K, but every now and then if I had a weekend with Andy and we were traveling and we kind of ate some garbage, I might give myself like a 15K or 20K goal for just like a few days. I just know what my body likes. And I also know that when my body's moving, like low intensity, low impact movement, that's when my body feels the best as well. So for me, movement is really healing. I need to stay fluid. I need to, I have to keep my body moving for the sake of like my back and my hips and all that shit. I just feel better. And also like I said, like as I get older and now I've been doing this bodybuilding shit for 10 years, I'm kind of rethinking my workouts and realizing that bodybuilding workouts, just traditional bodybuilding workouts, like 5 days a week, are going to hurt me. And I have to move away from that and like find more balance and do maybe 2 lifts a week, like 2 heavy lifts a week. And then maybe another day I'm doing yoga or maybe I'll, go rock climbing or go hiking or I need more balance. I need to do more things that humans naturally do, which picking up something really heavy and contracting the shit out of your muscles is just not great for us. We need to be like lengthened. Like we need to do yoga and Tai Chi and like just walk, because we need to stay long, because a body that's like this, that's just contracted, that's where injuries happen. And that's when, after a few years of bodybuilding, that was how the injuries started. And my doctor, I'm working with this really great spine guy right now, and he's like, it's just wear and tear. It just is what it is. But, it's going to happen. Anyone who's been doing this for a while. But now I'm doing more like stabilizing stuff. Like I'll do a workout where I'm just doing like single leg holds or like a lunge or a squat, and I'm just trying to hold it as long as I can. And I'm shaking, and that's good because all of the tiny little muscles around my big muscles are actually firing, and they're showing my body how to stay stable and not get hurt. With bodybuilding, I'm not recruiting any of the little muscles. I'm only using big muscles, which means there's no stabilization involved, which means my back can just go out at any time. And that can happen to anybody. Like, I'm sure that you had a lower back thing happen from doing deadlifts.
Oh,
like
my lower back is completely fucked.
Yeah. And a lot of that I think is that we're not activating all of the tiny, tiny little muscles in our body.
It's really like coincidental that you said that, because my instinct when I wasn't losing weight, when I'm not losing weight right now, I'm fucking trying, but was to do more days a week, because what had happened is I was doing obviously less movement, which I hadn't even thought about, but I was doing less workouts a week. Mm-hmm. I was going 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, which what I used to do was like 5 days on, 2 days off. But when this weight loss stalled, I was like, oh, I'll just do more. And I went back to going 5 days a week, and I injured myself immediately. And
that was your body saying like, no, that's not it.
And I found out I played drums the period where I was working out less, which kind of relates to what you were saying. I played the drums so much better because I'm not in that constantly contracted state. I'm like, there's less like
your body can just move around more freely.
Yeah.
I feel like if I did a really heavy lift and then the next day I tried to do anything like play any sort of instrument, they're guaranteed I'm not going to be 100%. I might be more kind of 70% because I'm trying to recover from this other thing. And my muscles are kind of like, no. So it totally makes sense.
And the mad thing is that on the day, if I train on the day that I play the drums, I'm really good. I'm really limber. But it is always that recovery day. I'm fucking dog shit.
And that's really good for you to know because then you can kind of plan everything around that. Like that's what Andy does with wrestling too. Like for him, he doesn't like to work out the day of. So he does not like to work out in the morning before he wrestles. He likes to work out a couple days before a wrestling match and then come into it he just likes to come into it fresh. So like you just kind of have to be able to listen to your body and balance all the things that you do. There's also, when you said that you went in and you were like lifting 5 days a week, I think that like with your weight loss stalling, there is a point at which you're stressing out your body too much with the lifting. And then you end up with inflammation basically, and you end up with a body that's pushing back on you. And that's when, like, we see that in bodybuilding all the time. And that's when we'll do something like back-to-back rest days. Like if I had a client that I coach and she was just going really, really hard, that's why you see deload weeks. That's why you see people who are like, okay, I'm going to take a couple of days off. Like, it's just too much. Like, I can't do it. And I think that was why I ended up with some problems, like the hormonal problems and like the cortisol problems about 5 years into bodybuilding. I think it's that for the first few years, I just went really hard and I felt like I could, I was like, I think I started when I was 24 and I felt great, and I just didn't know that all of that like 6 days a week and then probably doing cardio on the 7th day eventually was going to just like drive me into the ground. And
so what happened then? If you don't mind going into it.
Well, so I didn't get injured, but everything showed up like in my hormones. So I started bodybuilding. I started competing a year later. The next year I got my pro card. And then right after that, because when you turn pro, you want to jump into a pro show immediately. You just kind of want to establish yourself, kind of just say hi to the judges. Hey, I'm here. Don't forget about me. Check it out. Like, look at me in the lineup of pros and tell me what the feedback is. So you kind of just want to jump right in. So after I got my pro card, I went to jump into pro shows, and I had already been competing for like a solid 2 years. And my body just like got really like puffy. It was very strange. I wasn't losing weight. I stalled. My coach had to put me on keto to pull any sort of water off. And my body still was like, no, I hate this. My body hates keto. And so I jumped into those 2 shows kind of looking like shit. But good, still like good to jump in and just feel out a pro show because it's very different. The posing is different. So right after that, my coach looked at me and she's like, you have to get your hormones tested. Cause I was just puffy. Like if you're holding on to water, in a strange way, and there's just a different kind of a watery, puffy look, like there's a good chance that there's hormones involved. So she was like, go get a test immediately. I got tested and everything was off, like estrogen, DHEA, cortisol, everything was fucked. And I think it was
I know what my levels are of those things.
Yeah.
So I want to know what were they? Were they high, low? So
my estrogen was extremely low. However, at the same time, I was still estrogen dominant because my progesterone was like in the gutter. So I somehow had low estrogen, but also estrogen dominance at the same time. My cortisol was low, and my doctor said that I had basically had a cortisol dump where like my cortisol had been so high that I just like, it just jumped after that. And I had like nothing else. Yeah. DHEA was very low, and that was apparently one of my biggest problems. So I jumped on DHEA. For the most part, I went about all of it very naturally. So thank God I have a coach who is so cool that she's like, she doesn't care if I compete. She's like, I just want you healthy. So what we did, really, I had to just practice patience for like a good 6 months. Really, for like 3 months, I had to go pretty hard on this. My first steps were, I took a month off of caffeine, and I took a month off of the gym. And
I couldn't do it.
Well, it's funny because at first she had me do 2 weeks off of coffee, and then I just started feeling so good that I was like,
tell me.
I know. But I had been feeling like shit for a long time. So I think I just needed just anything at that point was going to feel good. So I took a month off of that, and I took a month off of training too. I just did like yoga and walking because I needed to get the mental stress down, and I needed to get the physical stress down as well. Because I don't think people don't think about lifting weights as stress, and it is. It's like a lot of really intense stress on your body, and your body doesn't really know the difference between the different types of stress. It just feels like it's just under, some
like mental stress and physical strength.
Yeah,
stress, your body just
they'll both fuck you up. Yeah, so I just was like, I'm just gonna sleep and take baths and do yoga. And that was, I had kind of gotten into the biohacking stuff a little bit before. I was really into like, there's some
weed.
Some cool, I'm really into weed. I am very much. I've been into weed for a long time.
I know.
I had really gotten into the sauna because there's very cool research about how the sauna boosts cardio endurance. And I had learned about that from Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's put out some really cool studies on that. So I was getting into the sauna as a means of making my cardio easier while I was prepping for shows. So that was like kind of one of my very first little like biohacking things that I got into. But then when my hormones got fucked, I was like, well, what else am I going to do? I'm not working out or anything. And I'm going to solve this naturally. I didn't want to go to a doctor. I didn't want a prescription. I knew that I could figure it out naturally, either with food or habits or little tactics, So that was kind of when I started researching a ton. And I was also just coming off of keto, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. So I went kind of hard on trying to learn about just what exactly keto does to your body and what the benefits are, and should I do it or not. And then I started really like trying different diet things and kind of fucking around to like find that exact thing that works for me, because I wasn't convinced with keto. I didn't feel very good. So
I've tried it, and I don't know what it does with my blood sugar or something, but I could kill someone. I could, my temper, my everything is like off the charts if I do keto.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Even if I'm eating like 3,000 calories of
fat,
whatever,
which
avocado,
that doesn't
and
even
fucking whatever.
Feel good. I felt like I had sludge in my stomach. I felt greasy, like from the inside. I just felt gross. Yeah. So, and then now so I did keto. I've tried carnivore just because people were talking about it for a while, and I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. I like steak. Tried that. It was kind of fun for a few weeks, and then I was like,
did it have the miracle fucking effects that everyone says it does?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
I don't think any of these
But I also I don't know, the people who are really big proponents of it, I think they talk about like how it can help autoimmune disorders and like some real serious health shit that I just don't have. It was fine. It was whatever. It's not really sustainable. Again, I'm looking for a diet that's sustainable, because that's the one that you're going to stick to. Right. So that's why I just don't believe in keto, because I don't think, first of all, I don't think that people do it right, because they're not tracking their food. And if I'm going to do keto, I'm going to do it like to the number and make sure that I'm actually getting the most out of it. Carnivore. No, I thrive on high carbs and lower ish fat. And but I had to learn through trial and error.
For people that don't know, because this is primarily a music podcast, I guess. Keto is when you have no carbohydrates whatsoever, and there's some science involved.
Yeah.
Whatever. They can't be bothered to talk about it. So so you fixed, for the most part, your hormone problems with biohacking?
Yeah. With a lot of rest, prioritizing my sleep and finding little ways that I could do that and that I could sleep better. And just de-stressing and finding different, whether it was like supplements or a specific strain of weed that works really well for me, or a breathing exercise. And really all of this is biohacking. And that's, I think, where people get a little bit tripped up, because they think that biohacking is some special thing that's like out of reach, that's like difficult. Biohacking is literally just recognizing what you currently have going on and just finding cool, interesting ways to fix it. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm not sleeping great. Okay, let me look into some interesting breathing exercises from Dr. James Nestor, who's like the breathing expert. Let me like listen to his podcast and see what I can do about my sleep. Okay, and then you try it and you're like, well, shit, that worked. It's just like taking yourself to the next level and doing what the average person just doesn't want to do.
Breathing, the Wim Hof breathing stuff, literally, I would say changed my life. And if I want to be really fucking dramatic, quite possibly saved my life.
That's so cool.
That shit is amazing.
That's really cool.
Even I'm sure it's not indicative just to the Wim Hof stuff, but just I had never taken deep breaths in my fucking life.
How funny is that?
I reckon the first time that I did it, I took more deep breaths during that, like the 40 deep breaths that I took then, I probably hadn't taken that year.
Crazy. And that's most people. And so, I mentioned James Nestor. I kind of just got into him. He is the author of the book called, I think it's just called Breathe. And he has a cool podcast. And he literally, like, this is his topic, is just breathing. And I heard him on a podcast one time say, if you did anything 25,000 times a day, wouldn't you want to do it at least kind of well? Like, wouldn't you want to do it pretty well?
Better, yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. So he's like, you don't want to do something 25,000 times a day and do it really bad. Like, don't do that. Like, so then I was like, okay, so maybe if I improved even 30% of those breaths, I could see a positive impact. And it was like, yeah, I did. And then, obviously we're not going to do deep breathing 100% of the day, but it's like, if you can do 20, 30, and then, I don't know, maybe even 40%, I don't know. But if you can just do like any portion of that really, really well, it's going to benefit you. And the science is now, it's out there. Like for anyone who doesn't believe.
The Wim Hof science is absolutely fucking mental.
That's some crazy shit. He's like curing he's like curing inflammation in his body, right?
Yeah, they injected him with E. coli, which has a 99.999 success rate in infecting you. He did his breathing exercise after they put it in him, and then they watched his body fight it off, and then they went, okay, then, so you're just an outlier, like you
That's
have
like
some sort
fluke,
of gene.
Yeah.
And then he went, okay, give me 15 people, and then they gave him 15 people, and it took like 2 weeks, and I think like 14 out of the 15 beat the test, which had a previous 99.9% fucking...
Yeah, that's wild.
Just through breathing and cold exposure. The cold exposure...
I was going to ask you if you're doing that part as well.
I'll be honest with you. The last sort of month, this is what I am the worst human being. I am the guy, whatever that saying is, like half an ounce of weed, bro. No, half an ounce of prevention is worth an ounce of cure, or whatever the fuck the thing is, right? I am the guy that's like, oh fuck, I cut my arm off. I guess give me a plaster. Like, I fixed my mental health, and then I stopped doing the stuff that fixed it. So for the last 2 months, maybe a month, 6 weeks. That's
anybody. I've been there with like injuries and shit. Yeah. where it's like I know I'm
stopped
supposed to
and I can
continue.
feel it.
Yeah.
I can feel it just creeping up now. And you know what? After this, I'm going to have a bath. I'm going to do my breathing exercise in the bath, which they tell you not to do. But I fully trip out when I do it in the bath. So
I know. You told me that you got like high off of breathing in the bath.
The breathing shit and then the breath hold specifically. I have like full trips sometimes. And it's like there's been some weird... Like, I've done a lot of fucking drugs. Like, I know what a trip is. I know the sort of stuff that I see, the sort of stuff, and it like is different to all of that. It's not like a mushroom trip or anything like that. I had like a weird so for anyone that doesn't know, the Wim Hof thing, you do like 40 big breaths. I'm going to completely summarize it. You do like 40 huge breaths, a big exhale, and then you hold your breath, not like just until you feel like you need to take a deep breath in. Mm-hmm. And then when you take a deep breath in, you hold that for 15 seconds. And during those 15 seconds, I would say out of my 4 rounds, maybe 2 of them, I have like 2 of them every single time. I have like a transcendental experience. Mm. And in I got a real good, it's a bootleg one, but it's a Brian Eno, like just soundscapes.
We listen. We'll listen to that in the sauna and do breathing exercises.
So and someone's superimposed the Wim Hof breathing on top of this Eno stuff. Yeah, and he counts you down from the 15 seconds. And there's been times where I've left this realm, had some crazy dream, like where I felt like I've been there. And then come back, felt like I've been gone for ages, like literally like a DMT trip. Yeah. Come back, and he's still got 7 seconds left to count. So I've been out for a second.
I wonder if, because you know how, the connection with DMT and your pineal gland, I wonder if this breathing is activating your pineal gland in some way.
That's what he says it does. He says it does.
Okay, that makes sense.
The decalcification.
Yeah.
And mine was definitely like a fucking old dishwasher.
The white shit around it.
I need some fucking Calgon just literally inject it into me. But there's been times where I've had like one of them that sticks in my head because I truly think it was some weird, like, not a premonition, but like a weird lapse of time. Like, there was a dream, and it was just a real normal dream, but it's me and my girlfriend at the Empire State Building, and she's never been to New York, right? But obviously one of the first things that will happen when the world opens up is I'll have to go to New York for Stray, and
take her and show her
she'll definitely come with me. So, and we'll definitely
you're
go
gonna
to the
have
Empire
that
State
moment.
Building. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, am I gonna get there and be like, and if I go there and if I get deja vu, like,
that's really
I will have unlocked something. Like, it will be the weirdest thing ever. It could just be like I passed out a bit and had a little dream, but it was so
that's really
vivid
cool.
and weird.
Yeah,
and I just, in part of me, really wants to go there and be like, just like,
how does it feel?
Like deja vu feeling. Yeah, but then be like, I know exactly where the deja vu's from. Mm-hmm. You created it. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think that's what's like what happens with Kundalini yoga as well. I know that Jordan from Every Time I Die has actually gotten really into Kundalini yoga and like breathing and yoga shit. And he's mentioned some kind of similar experiences where just through this, like just this breath work, he's having like amazing experiences. It's really cool. It's so cool. And it's just something people just aren't willing to take even like 10 minutes and do this shit. You know?
But even I'm like...
Yeah, we're all bad at it. I'm horrible at it too.
I mean, I'm doing it after this, and then I'm going to tell you if I have a fucking crazy dream about the Empire State Building. But
I'll do it
anyway.
Too.
This is great because you know what we did? We did the little fucking I don't know you, and I don't know you, blah, 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 blah conversation. Now we're in some fucking deep shit, right? Well, I want to get back on the hormone biohacking thing because I'm fucking bored all the time. And what I do is like I'll change a supplement or do something and I'll get my blood tested all the time. disclaimer, I get my blood tested because the minute my testosterone is at TRT levels, I'm going to fucking get it.
Yeah. And have you not yet? You haven't had to yet?
Oh no, my
That's great.
My testosterone levels are ridiculously high for someone that doesn't have a beard. It's fucking insane.
Wait, how old are you?
30. Wow, how old am I? 34.
You're just on the cusp. You're right at it's TRT time is coming. It's coming. It's coming real soon. Typically, I think 35 is the average age where a lot of guys start to kind of get into it. Yeah.
In the last 4 years, my testosterone has gone up.
We'll see though. Hey, ride it out. Yeah.
And do you know what? There's a few things that have so I went for a stage of just being bored, being at home, just not really doing anything. So I would just get a hormone panel and then I try and improve things from it.
See,
and
that's so cool. I love that.
The first time I did it was maybe 2018, and it came back, and my testosterone was my free testosterone was pretty low because my sex hormone binding globulin,
my favorite word,
was sky high. And that was throttling my free testosterone or whatever. And you'll hate this. Long story short, I found out that it was weed that was making that super, super high. And
interesting.
I stopped the weed.
Yeah.
And
this is good,
that went back to normal.
That's really
and
interesting.
I just had normal testosterone levels. And then here's a good one. I split up with my ex. Mm-hmm. Who I hate.
May she burn in hell.
Thank you.
May she burn in hell.
And my testosterone since then has been fucking through the roof.
So she was like a, you know how people talk about energy vampires? She was like a testosterone vampire. And then you got with this hot ass chick, and then your test just shot through the. I mean, if I was dating I think my test would probably go through the roof too. I think anyone's would.
I wonder if I can fucking pull it up, because there's a thing in the UK where it just saves all of your stuff and you can check it and you get doctor's notes or whatever. But cool. I was always checking it because the initial one was I was on the cusp of TRT, and I was like, oh, fuck it, if I need it, I need it.
Yeah, and you went about it more naturally, which is
cool.
I've
managed to sort it out. The other one that was fucking huge was because I saw you started taking it the other day was P5P, vitamin B6, sorry.
Yeah.
B6. The methylated form
Methylated, yeah. I just got into methylated. I didn't even know about it. It's crazy.
My prolactin was super high as well.
Okay.
Which would mean that I have that most people with high prolactin would have had fucking gynomastia and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't. I've got tiny little fucking raisin nipples. And then I started taking a doctor was like, oh, you want to take Cabergoline or whatever it's Caber. And then I Googled the side effects and they were fucking crazy. And then I read a study where it was oh, vitamin B6, the methylated one, does the same thing, but obviously naturally.
Yeah.
Started taking that. Number one, prolactin went down, and as a result, estrogen went down. Testosterone went up.
Love it.
Number two, the male refractory period, which is after you orgasm, the amount of time it takes you to be able to orgasm again.
Do it,
is regulated by prolactin. So if you lower that, infinite nuts.
Infinite nuts. Wow.
I mean, it's not infinite, but I've tested it.
Infinite Nuts is a good name for like a ska band or something. Infinite Nuts, or Infinite Nuts
honestly,
would be on Fat Records.
Infinite Nuts and just checkerboard. Infinite Nuts, and then maybe a monkey. That's the fucking a monkey with that top hat on. But that was a side effect of it that I noticed, and then I googled it and was like, oh, it's that shit I'm taking. But that was all natural.
Yeah,
which is annoying
that's really
because
cool.
I just want that fucking legal juice, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna get you hooked up. Yeah. I think that like the reason that I go about shit exactly the same way as you do is again because of my dad. Because so I grew up with this hippie that was like, we can get everything we need from the earth, and he's from Hawaii, and he just like he just kind of like worships like the earth and like what it gives us. So my dad I don't even know if he's ever been to a doctor. He's never been on a medication. He's 79. He's so healthy. And every time he's ever had an issue, instead of running to a doctor for a pill, he just would try to figure it out himself. And he would try to figure it out like with food, like he eats great. Or, you know, something he was doing with his training because he liked working out a lot too. So I saw a lot of that growing up, and I saw that he was able to kind of avoid just being one of those people that's just on a ton of pills. And so I think that that's why my natural instinct when I have an issue is to do something naturally. And going on a prescription will forever be my last, like, that is like my last step when everything else has failed and I truly need it. That's when I'll do it. But like I got off of birth control. I was on birth control for 10 years and I didn't know. Just, of course, fucking now all the research comes out about how fucking awful it is for you. It's so bad for women in so many ways. And there was none of this research. And I didn't have like Instagram back then to like follow cool hormonal doctors like I do now. But I was on for 10 years, felt like garbage for a solid 10 years. And then finally, like I got off of that. And otherwise, like everything natural as much as possible, you know?
It's crazy that birth control is allowed to exist.
Yeah,
because
and so normal.
It benefits men, so that's why it is. That's why it's. Yeah, you can still carry on taking that. We'll do the fucking tests. Yeah, it's fine. Go on, girls.
And it's
fucking just rubbering up.
It brings in so much money. It's just everyone's on it, you know. And it's just like it's just what you do. Like as a girl, like I first did it for my skin when I was 16. I had really bad skin. And, but as a girl, when you are in your late teens or early 20s, it's like, okay, I'll just go on birth control now. And like, that's just the norm. And now it's all coming out just how awful it is for you. And that the effects are very long lasting, even when you get off. So I got off of it and I got like a non-hormonal IUD. But yeah, I don't want to fuck around with like synthetic hormones. Like my hormones are already complicated enough. I'm a chick. I don't then want to introduce something fake and try to fuck with them. I don't want to fuck with nature too much. I found that when you try to fuck with
kids
it,
on it,
they
put
wild.
Like a 16-year-old kid on that shit.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. And could that have contributed to my shit when I was in my late 20s? Like maybe the combination of that plus then the bodybuilding stuff, you know, I don't know if that could have played a part, but it's nasty. Yeah. And for anyone, you know, listening, that's either a girl that's on birth control or a guy who has a chick on birth control, like there's a lot of good research out now that just wasn't available to us before. And you can very easily find, you know, what the problems are with it, but there's other things you can do. There's other methods.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you got infinite nuts though, you gotta be careful if you got infinite nuts.
Oh, you would certainly don't want to mix P5P with no birth control. All right, let's talk. Are you in the mushroom club? Are you the?
Yeah.
Are you a shroomer? Like not a magic kind. I mean, like a.
Oh, not magic. Okay. What kind?
I mean, I can't.
I like them all. I like all of them.
I have had some of the worst times of my life on magic mushrooms. So they're in my bad books.
They are, really. Do you think that it was, because typically where you run into problems are either, of course, the dose is too high, or in my experience, it's all about environment. And that if you don't I am so fucking prescriptive about my environment when I'm doing psychedelics that it's probably annoying to people who I'm with. but it has to be perfect. And I learned that the hard way. Like I started out for some reason, my first psychedelics that I got into, it was acid, and I shouldn't have. I was young, and it's just, that's way too gnarly. And I had one last really bad trip, and now I don't do acid anymore. I microdosed it one time, and that was pretty fun. But I had a really bad trip, but it was just the wrong environment. And then I've only had one bad experience with mushroom. Not even really that bad. It could have been if I stayed there longer. But again, wrong environment, loud music, bright lights, not natural. And so for me now, I know exactly where I need to be, when, what I need to eat or not eat. Like, it's so much about environment. Do you think that, like, with your bad experiences, that was the issue? Or what do you think?
Yeah, let me tell you what they were. They were at house parties, and they were picked fresh that day. And I thought, yeah, it's a fucking mushroom. I eat mushrooms all the time, and I ate so many. Like,
oh no! And fresh ones are very different than dried ones.
Oh,
very different.
An insane amount of, like, I am talking, like, of Liberty Caps, the old classic. I am talking like 2 handfuls of fresh ones. My brain, how old was I? I think I was fucking 15. So
okay, I was gonna say that. Yeah. This wasn't last year.
At a house party, it's never happened again. I did that twice, the same fucking thing, and I was just like, nah, never again. But do you know what? Everything was okay, and I was just in another fucking world. And then I smoked an 8th on the bong to myself, and the world.
Wow,
ended.
You used to love drugs. You really love drugs.
Now I don't, but no. I did it all
I think it's just
far too young.
It's just environment. Like, I never want to be around too many people. I only want to be around like 1 to 2 people. And I need to be in nature, outside, preferably near trees. I've had a couple of great ones and varying doses from, kind of on the small side to on the bigger side. And, like, if you just go somewhere quiet and land with the stars, it's the best. And do the right dose and put on the right music, it's great.
I don't think my anxiety about it would ever let me now, though. I don't think. And I personally wouldn't want to retry it because I'm at a stage where I've managed to fix my brain. Yeah. Which, back to what you say about your birth control potentially affecting how, your hormones were later on. There is no doubt in my mind that the reason my mental health had the most insane period is because I fucked up my shit when I was far too young. Yeah. Like,
when your brain was still developing and you fucked with those pathways that were growing, right? That were developing. Yeah.
Now they're fucked and I'm fixing them with biohacking. The microdosing thing appeals to me.
It's cool. Have you tried it yet?
No.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've had both good and bad, and lately I haven't been loving it. I'm kind of in like I have a weird relationship with mushrooms right now, and I got invited to actually go do a mushroom yoga class tomorrow. It's like this 3-hour thing in Buffalo where they want people to like eat mushrooms, and then there's like a sound bath and yoga and all this really cool stuff. And I've been on the fence about
it. Is that legal?
They're advertising on Instagram. I don't know. They're not giving it out. That's a choice, But even with microdosing lately, I don't know. You have to, again, be so specific with your dose, and you're getting into tiny amounts. So then it's really annoying because now you're measuring between like teeny tiny, like 0.001 gram or 0.002 grams. Like there's like, it's very specific. And I found that it's very energizing for me, microdosing, and it can be too energizing. And I can feel like I drank like 5 Red Bulls and it can kind of make me like this, and then it can actually induce a little bit of anxiety for me. But I think that is just a matter of dose, environment. You know, what have I eaten that day? Have I had any caffeine? I definitely steer clear of caffeine with microdosing because it is so energizing. But I think I might even need to taper it back way far, because you're not really supposed to feel it like that. You're supposed to be able to go about your day, do everything normally, and then at the end of the day you go, wow, that was a really great day, and that tree, like, you know, I see that tree every day, but today it just looks a little bit more beautiful. Like, that's it. You shouldn't be feeling like, wow, I feel like I took something.
Mushroom, yeah. I mean, I do fully feel like at small doses, they're doing a lot of research about using it as an antidepressant, aren't they? And I feel like, because I remember, fuck me, I was such a fucking lunatic when I was a kid. I would do stuff like, I'd be walking home from school, like where I used to live, there's like magic mushrooms everywhere. Oh, and cool. I'd see one and I'd just go, dump, and just fucking like eat one freshie on the way home. And then I would just be like slightly high for the rest of the evening. I used
to be so stupid like that too.
That was fine. Yeah. So I can see how it would work as antidepressants. And there was never any like, I'm not suggesting anyone goes out and just randomly grabs mushrooms off the floor. But I will say this, the shroom tech stuff, the stuff that I asked you about.
Yeah, from On It.
Shit right
Did you try it yet?
The On It stuff.
Yeah.
I tried it yesterday, and all day, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, I had uncontrollable rage. And I Googled the cordyceps.
Yeah.
And it's like a
Did you do
testosterone
four
booster.
pills?
Yeah, I
did. You do the full dose?
I was fucking... I don't know if it was just I was having a bad day, but I was on tilt.
I've had that happen.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I've had that happen. And that was why, like, when you first told me that you were taking Shroom Tech, I think I said something like, okay, like, make sure you go work out or something, because I only take, like, some people might take maybe a low dose of Shroom Tech just to kind of get throughout their day. I only take it when I'm going to work out. Like, I feel like I have to burn Shroom Tech off. So I'll take it like 45 minutes before a run. Cardio wise, you're fucking flying. So Shroom Tech. So I tried Shroom Tech like a long time. You know, I first heard about it from Joe Rogan, of course, as we all did. So I first heard about On It, like when I first started bodybuilding, and I heard about Shroom Tech, and then he had someone on who was explaining why Shroom Tech works so well. And it's, you know, it's because of these cordyceps mushrooms. There were studies, there's some area of the world where cordyceps mushrooms grow wildly, and they're just everywhere. Yeah. And it's an area where these people, they eat these mushrooms and they have insane cardio endurance, and they run really far. And I wish I could remember where this is, but they have this wild endurance. So they started doing studies with cordyceps, and it like increases your VO2 max, like you can run longer and faster. And so I got really interested in cordyceps around the same time I was interested in the sauna stuff, because I was like, I have to do so much cardio as a bodybuilder that I might as well make it really awesome. But I have to like burn it off.
I couldn't believe, like, I don't know, maybe I was just in a fucking bad mood anyway, but I was like...
No, I've had it happen, yeah. I've had that happen with psilocybin mushrooms too. I've had like a bad like microdose day, where I microdosed, and then I was like, I think that everything's supposed to be really wonderful and beautiful, and I just want to like fucking like kill somebody. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy how powerful they are.
Yeah.
Like, even the ones that are supposed to be non-psychoactive. I think I Googled it yesterday, and it was like, cordyceps has been proven to like increase your testosterone as well. So like, my testosterone's already naturally quite high now.
Maybe you were
I'm just pumping it. And I think I took it too close to working out, because towards the end of the workout was really fucking good, and then I was just raging the rest of the day.
Yeah, it kicks in like 45 minutes later for me.
I did try, like, I know this shit is like overplayed, but
what,
I
Alpha
tried
Brain?
the fucking I don't know what's a placebo and what's not. I took Alpha Brain before I went to do drums yesterday, And I fucking, like, I had a great day. Like,
Yeah.
creatively, everything
Totally
going.
could have been that. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why, like, all of this shit is trial and error. And people have to be willing to put in the time and try things and sometimes fail. Like, whoops, took too much drum tech, didn't do the right kind of workout, whatever. Okay, fucked up.
Yeah.
Let me fix it and try it again. It's all the biohacking shit is just identifying an area where you need some sort of a boost or an improvement, and then trying shit, failing a little bit, but trying until you find what works for you. And like, I didn't respond super well to Alpha Brain. I didn't have any problems, but I think if I remember correctly, I did it years ago, but it was kind of like a downer for me, and it wasn't sparking creativity like I was kind of hoping for it to do. Because I know that it's supposed to be great if you're someone who, like, you know, makes music or writes. I didn't really love Alpha Brain. And nootropics in general just don't do too much for me. But that's, like, everyone's different, you know? So,
I had like a great day yesterday.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to try it again tomorrow. And I'm going to try the Shroom Tech thing again. And I'm just going to try half as much beforehand. Because if anything, that's just fucking proof that it probably does work. But
yeah,
maybe I just did it wrong.
What else did you get from Onnit? You got some other shit from Onnit that I really like. I'm trying to remember.
I just finished drinking a New Mood right now. I've been drinking that.
Wait, is there a New Mood drink? Oh, you got the little packets?
Yeah, check this out.
Wait, you're gonna so wait, what time is it there? It's later there, right?
I mean, it's not really that late. Why am I gonna snooze? It's like 5:20.
So New Mood for me, just again, trial and error, just monitor it. But New Mood for me, I take it right before bed, and it knocks me the fuck out. You might be taking a nap.
It was tested, like drug tested at the border. They had to fucking they'd opened it and they put a little thing in it.
So this is why it took like 2 months to get to you.
Yeah, they took my whey.
They just took your protein. Yeah, because some bro just wanted it. Some bro in a uniform. They said
it was because it said grass fed on it, so they thought it was like fucking big bag of meat or something.
Oh my god, guys!
I got like a letter.
That's some really like valuable shit.
It's like I'm importing fucking. The letter was like you're not allowed to import livestock. So obviously,
because I think that there's like a cow on the label, so that might have been the problem.
100%, yeah. They thought it was a bag of cow, like fucking cow embryo. Fuck.
New Mood, I really like though. New Mood, I'll take New Mood every day. I like to take it at night. I sleep really well, and then it does have some sort of boosting shit in it as you yawn. Yeah.
Let me have a look. Yeah, I'm fucking really tired. I've been slowly drinking it over this.
I think it's supposed to like boost like dopamine and serotonin, but essentially I think you're supposed to like wake up the next day feeling a little bit better.
It's got more P5B in it, so I'm fucking
great. You're just raging.
I'm infinite later.
If you got 5-HTP.
L-tryptophan, 5-HTP.
See, tryptophan. See, this is what tryptophan. That's what's in Thanksgiving turkey. That's why people fall asleep.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. You're gonna just take a nap after this. Just take a little nap.
Valerian root. That's like the
that people take that before bed. Yeah.
Chamomile. That's a bedtime.
That's a tea that puts you to fucking sleep.
Lemon balm. So that
puts you to sleep. Yeah.
Well, I've got about 5 hours until I have to go to sleep. I mean, my sleep's quite good now since I started doing breathing.
The breathing stuff. That's awesome.
I had a period of literally 6 days where I didn't sleep, and I do not want to talk about it because it fucks me up. It's a horrible, horrible time. But my sleep, I have full-on sleep anxiety. Yeah. But the breathing shit just fucking changed my fucking life.
I love that. I've been trying to kind of work with Andy on this because he's, he didn't sleep very much for like 23 years so far. So like I am like his first experience in like being domesticated, I guess, and like having a normal life. So, I mean, he still does his shit, but he was like just not sleeping or sleeping in a van for like 23 years. So now, even when he tries to sleep, his sleep is still kind of fucked up. I think just because his circadian rhythm is just kind of set to like tour life. So we've been trying to work on that. And then like with wrestling, you know, he wrestles really late and then he'll wake up in the morning and then he's got to fly home. And so his day is kind of fucked. And so it's been like a topic for both of us, is just really like optimizing sleep and trying to like be good to our circadian rhythms. Basically, he didn't believe me that was a word at first. He thought that I was making circadian rhythm up. But
like it's some sort of fucking salsa.
I had to Google it for him.
Here's one for you, Mrs. Biohacker and sleeping. Okay, so when I initially couldn't sleep, I obviously, like everyone, took melatonin, right? And I found it just didn't fucking work. And it actually had half of the opposite effect for me, where I would just be bolt awake at like 3 a.m. And I read some studies recently where you take like a microscopic amount of melatonin, like not microscopic, but like 0.2 of a milligram, and your sleep is far better than if you took 5 milligrams.
That's interesting. I take, when I feel like I might need to, I take a tiny amount and I do that not because of this, which is interesting that you say that, because when I take a full dose of melatonin, typically the next day I'm pretty groggy. So I was like, well, let me just try scaling it back. So we have these gummies that are 3 milligrams, which is really not that much. I eat like a quarter to a half of one, which is a very small dose. Yeah. And I do really like that. So that kind of makes sense.
The study is like, I think the study was on old people though, and fuck them, fuck them. But it's like I'm talking
really
point under a milligram, and the amount of sleep that they were getting better was so much more. And it's because your brain only produces this tiny fucking amount anyway. So when you like flood it, you either get it as like a hangover effect left in your brain, but you've got nothing to do with it, or your brain goes, what the fuck do we do?
It tries to get rid of it. Yeah.
Gets rid of it, and then you just fucking wake up.
I've also, I've seen some studies. There's an issue, I don't know a ton about this, but there's an issue with melatonin and depression. So that's something to keep in mind too, is that I think that it's like prolonged use without breaks or something can fuck up your like serotonin levels. So I've heard of that. If you're someone who's doing like 3 to 5 like every single night, I think that after like a couple of weeks you notice some issues. But I think that you're onto something, just like a tiny dose, and then of course all of the other things that you can do with the breathing. And
I've taken a tiny bit every single night for about a year now.
Yeah.
And I'm the least depressed I've ever been.
No, that's great.
I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
But that's because
you're also sleeping.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You sound like you've got some gems of other things that help people sleep. What have you got for me?
I mean, I think you nailed it with the breathing. I think breathing is number one. I think creating the right environment, obviously getting off of the light shit, getting off of your phone for sure. Definitely
You know what didn't work for me and that does work for you?
Huh.
CBD.
Oh yeah, so CBD, okay.
Does 0 for me.
But I wonder if you just got shitty CBD, because there's just so much.
So many.
Really?
The marketing gets me every time.
I know. I know though that there's weed, bro. There's so much. I know there's there are a lot of brands that I've tried that didn't work very well. I started using CBD Social recently. This is like a small company out of South Carolina. I like it. At the same time, I have to take a really high dose. So it might just be, I think that a lot of people don't take enough. I have to take a lot. Like I'm like 50 milligrams plus, sometimes pushing to 100, which is a lot compared to when they're like, just take 10 milligrams. 10 milligrams doesn't do shit for me. No.
You just reminded me, the only time it's ever done something for me was, number one, it was an American company, so I get the feeling that over here, maybe we are literally just getting fucking snake oil. It was an American company, Peace CBD they were called, and I was like just taking a little bit here and then.
Yeah.
I got a whole fucking bottle of, is that illegal? I'll edit this out maybe. I got a whole bottle of fucking THC CBD lean taken off me at an airport that I accidentally had in my fucking bag trying to fly on an international flight with like fucking lean. But at the same time, I had this CBD and it was like there was an amount left before I got on the flight. And I was like, I don't really want to fly with it.
You took all of it?
So I just drank it all.
And you're like, oh, this shit worked.
That really fucking worked. But it wasn't like financially, that wasn't.
That's also the problem. Is that CBD is really expensive. Yeah. So it was probably like, I probably just drank $50. Yeah, there's a good chance. This shit is so expensive. I found it works on my dogs pretty well. So I like that. I take pretty high doses, but again, like, of course, I get it for free. So if this was something that I had to pay for, I might not be buying it. I don't know. The one reason why I always keep CBD around is one of its really incredible benefits is the way that it can mitigate too much THC. So if you eat an edible and you have a little bit too much and you're like, shit, I think I'm getting too high, you can load up on CBD and it brings you back down. So they kind of counterbalance each other nicely. I went to a cannabis dinner in Northern California where, it was cooked by this amazing chef and everything was infused. And on the tables, they had little droppers of CBD and they were like, please, like, use this, if you feel like you need to. So that was when I kind of learned more about that. So now I keep it around and I haven't had to use it for that, but I'll always keep it around just in case. Cause I just don't like, I'm very prescriptive even with like how much weed I use. But yeah, I don't like to just fuck around and like get way too high and have a bad time. Like that's never like why I want to use it.
So I fully realized that, like, I don't smoke weed because I get fucking anxiety, and I know it's the strains. I tried all the fucking strains.
That's okay. So some people it just doesn't. Yeah, it's just not.
I used to still smoke it, and then the combination of my SHBG being high from it, plus 5 out of 10 times having a fucking panic attack, I was like, okay, I'm just fucking out. But I had a friend who had cancer, and this is the kind of shit that I would hear before, and I would think, this is fucking baloney. And then I saw it firsthand. I had a friend who had cancer, and they had big fucking tumors. And I had seen the tumors, like you could see them poking out of his skin. And he went on the the RSO oil.
RSO, yeah.
Which is the Rick
Simpson?
Simpson?
Yeah.
Something like that.
RSO
Simpson.
Wild, yeah. That's amazing stuff. Super concentrated.
Full
weed,
spectrum
oil.
shit.
Yeah.
It's so boiled down. The first time you're supposed to take a grain of rice amount.
It's like the
3
pin.
times
It's
a day.
like a pin.
Yeah. The first time he tried it, he like fully fucking tripped out. Anyway, I saw him one day and like I went to go see him when it was pretty bad. He was bedridden. He was out of his fucking mind. He was just, like you would expect someone with cancer. Yeah. And then he started doing this Rick Simpson thing. He'd already started it then. And then the next time I saw him, we met in a coffee shop outside. He was like fucking...
He was fine?
Fine.
Wow.
I mean, not fine, but
better, yeah.
He showed me the tumors in his leg and I don't know if he was on like chemo as well, but I'm pretty sure I remember he'd stopped the chemo, but the tumors in his leg, which I had previously seen, had shrunk.
That's amazing.
Just through this, yeah. And that oil, like people use it to cure the fucking cancer in their dogs.
That's what they say, yeah.
But seeing it firsthand, like shrinking tumors, unfortunately he did die. But like, I was like, wow, that is fucking crazy. And if I ever get any of that shit, or any of my family get that shit, I'm fucking Breaking Bad in some RSO oil.
Yeah.
And getting that shit
Yeah,
in.
absolutely. Yeah, I think that was I think that that's the story behind RSO, is that Rick Simpson had cancer or someone very close to him did. I haven't like read that story in a long time, but yeah, he claims that it's essentially a cure. Yeah. So, I mean,
It's fucking...
and maybe there's something preventative to it. I don't know.
Mean, it kills cancer cells in a petri dish. I know that much.
Okay. That's interesting.
But also, there's like a lot of people say that it's half of cancer is in the fucking mind. Like half of the battle is the positivity and the whatever. And I guess if you're just fucking high all the time, it's probably quite.
I believe it. I mean,
a lot easier.
placebo effect. Like the placebo effect is real. So if you can get real results, real physical results from a placebo effect, which is something that is happening in your mind, then we know. And that's again back to like the Wim Hof stuff, is that what you do with your mind can actually affect, what's going on the inside.
That scares the absolute fuck out of me. Placebo scares the fuck out of me because like I hate my brain. And then, like, just being told that the amount of power your brain has over you,
you're like, okay, fuck, my brain's gonna kill me. Yeah,
I am not friends with my brain.
Yeah,
and then just knowing like, actually, everything's in your mind. Oh, good. Oh,
great, because that's where everything shitty is. Yeah. I have to work on that a lot too. I have to continually work on that because I have always been kind of a high stress person that would go to the negative. And that's just coming from childhood shit. Like I said, like my mom really just kind of fucked me up in that sense, to where I kind of felt like the world like wasn't really a safe place. So I would go to the negative. So if my friend said, oh, we're going to go to a party, do you want to come? I would think like worst case scenario. And I would just like not go, or I was always the DD. I never like just like let go as someone in my like 20s or like late teens, just because I was just kind of a stress case. And then when I started to realize how much our brain affects, really everything about our lives and our health as well. I was like, fuck, I have to fix this. I have to loosen up. And I'm still working on that. That's still kind of a battle. I like to think of myself as being realistic, but I think sometimes to others it can come off as negative, even when I'm not trying to be. I don't know. I think I'm just kind of like, and that's like something I have to work on with Andy too, because my delivery, I can just be very straightforward, which can come off kind of negative, like when you just kind of say like, this is it, like this is a fact, like.
That's me in emails.
Sometimes
my email etiquette is fucking horrible.
Like you sound like an asshole in it.
It's insane. I had my one of my fucking sponsors, my guy from fucking Tama drums, tell me you have the most aggressive email tone out of anyone I've ever dealt with.
Wow.
And but I'm not like. It's just, I don't know what it is.
You're just being straightforward. You're just like doing business. You think you're just getting business done.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we do, blah, blah, blah. Like, it annoys me, the
small talk shit.
Strange times. I hope you're okay in these strange times. Oh, it's the same day.
I don't really do that either.
Send me the fucking email. Tell me what you want from me. I'll tell you what I want. Goodbye.
Exactly. Like that's how I am too, and like that's like the yin and yang of me and Andy, is that he'll sit with a stranger anywhere, it happens every day, and just talk and just do small talk with them. He just loves it. He'll do small talk with anybody, and he's just like so friendly, and I'm just to the point. I'm like, what are we talking about? Okay, I got it, thank you, bye. Like I'm just like business. But I think that that's just also from trying to be like a corporate career chick since I was like 18 too.
So what was mine from then? Because that's definitely me as well.
Just being a dick in general.
Just like, honestly, I like fall out with fucking friends all the time. But they don't tell me. They're just like, oh, I thought you were in a bad mood. I was like, why? Oh, because of this exchange from fucking 6 months ago.
And you're just like, I hadn't even thought about that. I have no
idea. Yeah. It was.
You're just straightforward. There's like no fluff.
But yeah, I think what you I think I have with Leica what you have with Andy. I think there's the two personality types that you need. I feel like me and you have the fuck you, I'm getting it done, this is blah, blah, blah. And then what I do now is I just run my emails past her and my texts. I'm like, I want to say this. Is this fine? And then she goes, no.
No, it's not. See, and that's,
you should
that's the
probably
cool thing
add
about...
a sentence.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about having a good partner, you know, is that you have that. Like, he's like, that's what they say, like my better half, like he's my better half, and I run shit by him, and then he runs shit by me. And we are constantly doing like brainstorming sessions for both of our careers or for anything, where it's just like he'll run like wrestling shit by me, and I'm like, you know, I give him like an outsider's perspective, or like I'll talk about, you know, my job is not as creative. It's a lot of like data and spreadsheets, and, you know, I do like a lot of like food advertising stuff, and I'll be telling him something about work, and he'll give me the balance of like his, you know, creative mind, and he'll kind of tell me a story about something similar that happened in like music or wrestling that'll open me up to another perspective, right? So that's like, and that's what you hope to find in a partner, is that someone who can kind of do that to you, who can give you that yin and yang thing.
And sometimes it can take fucking 34 years and a previous marriage to find that fucking person. Like
34 years, one marriage, one horse tattoo.
One marriage, one fucking decapitated
one
horse
decapitated.
Tattoo. But like, it's mad when you actually find it though, isn't it? Because I feel like I have done more with my business in the last year and been more successful with it. Probably quite a lot of it, I mean, she is modeling it and she looks good, but quite a lot of it also to do with me going, here's an idea, or just having someone else to bounce ideas off.
Yeah, having someone with a good brain too, with like an interesting brain. Like, that's why you want to be with someone interesting and kind of, you know, weird and intelligent. And yeah, I get a lot out of Andy's brain, for sure. And he balances me out.
Anyone listening who doesn't have this, dump whoever you're with.
Yeah. It's a fucking, it's a waste of time.
Just do it.
We
just
all do it. We all waste time.
Just fucking go.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time. You can, if you think you could do better, or even that.
Yeah.
Not even just doing better. If you're not completely two halves of the same whole, then fuck it right off.
It's just,
it does exist.
Life is, it's like, it's cliche, but like life is short. And I just don't know that you want to spend, like, my dad spent 30 years in like a miserable marriage. I'm just like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, I just, I don't want to spend 1 year in a, I mean, I have done it before, but yeah, I mean, I think that this, like, that, you know, what we have found is what you should demand, you know?
Did you find that once you, like, when you met Andy, did you like, I mean, this is what I did. I knew from previous stuff, like, where I kept elements of my personality away from the start, or like, even like fucking what I was into sexually and shit like that. Not anything fucking weird. I mean, but, you know, like, not like illegal weird, but like.
But you were trying to like cater to someone, maybe.
Yeah. And then you end up like that. I mean, sex is a bad example because now I sound like a fucking creep. But I mean, like,
I think that's I think that's a good example. I think that is a good example.
Like, if you aren't open from the beginning, like, this is what I'm into, this is that, even in just like fucking, to a lesser extent, someone says, oh, anything. Do you like
or
fucking
food or whatever?
Yeah. Do you like fucking seafood? And then you're like, yeah, I love it, but really you fucking hate it. Right. And then you have to spend 2 years eating fucking oysters every day.
You set yourself up. Yeah.
You're gonna the same way. Like, after the last one, I was like, there's no way I'm ever not telling anyone exactly what is on my mind at all times, exactly how I feel. Yeah. No fucking games.
What I want.
Perfect. Right.
Okay.
People won't know this because it'll be seamless, but we had a fucking accident and I was going to smash everything in this room up. This is the second time my brand new MacBook M1 has crashed during a podcast. And it was while it was recording, and obviously we didn't stop the podcast because we were on a roll. And I thought the file was missing forever. I put it on my Instagram, like, someone please help me. So many little fucking, I know everything. Like, afraid that's lost forever, dude. Minute, just take the L. All this shit. All these little fucking wankers. And then one guy, James Rillstone, who's from my Discord, turned around and said, if you go into the project audio, I'm just saying this here in case it happens to anyone else, and you press Command, Shift, and period, it shows what you were recording when
That's
you crashed.
literally it? That's it?
So
Command, Shift, period.
And then I dragged that in, and here we are. And I checked. We were basically just talking about having a significant other that is absolutely fucking perfect, and if you don't have that, then dump.
Then get out.
Dump what you've got. Get out.
Yeah.
But I'm low-key glad it happened now, because since we last spoke yesterday, I have meditated, done my breath work.
You did it.
I did it straight after because I needed to fucking chill out.
Yeah.
You
were so pissed. You were really pissed.
It's because it's the second time it's happened, and last time I actually lost the full thing. So
you did it. You did your breathing. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Didn't have a full fucking transcendental experience, right? But there's one thing that has happened that it's only from having this much time away from it that it's made me realise I'm pretty fucking chilled today because of it.
Yeah.
And I was chill after I did it.
Good.
But after the breath hold, I had this like weird smell in my head.
Okay,
and it
interesting.
It was the strangest, like a weird coming home feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've been talking about mushrooms. Like the second time you do mushrooms. You know that weird, like, I've been here before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
right.
yeah. And we were talking about deja vu yesterday, too. We were talking about the Empire State Building stuff.
I had, like, this weird, like, smell in my head, and it's just there now.
That's interesting. I've never had that happen.
It's not like it's not an unpleasant smell or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like a weird...
Is it nostalgic, though? Is it like something that you recognize?
But it's like, it's a constant smell. It's like I'm smelling the entire world differently. How weird is that?
Is it in a good way?
It's just a different way.
Yeah.
But it's like it activated after my last breath hold. I went, oh, I've been here before. Like a weird nostalgic smell thing.
Yeah, how weird.
And I can still smell it now.
How did you sleep on the new mood?
I slept like a fucking log last night. I was so tired. Like, after the podcast and then meditating, I was just dead. Completely done.
Yeah.
And then actually today I worked out and I took 2 caps of the Shroom Tech.
Okay.
And I had a great workout.
Yeah.
And I didn't get very angry.
Good.
Was it the breath work or was it the Shroom Tech? Who knows?
Maybe both, yeah. And you probably just have to fuck around with your dose a little bit and just find that right dose for you. Like some people are going to thrive on 4 pills of it, and like I like 1 or 2 because I just don't need to take it all the way. So I like to be kind of cautious with my doses on anything. Like I've been playing around with yohimbine for cardio, for fasted cardio. And it's tough because you're supposed to take it on an empty stomach. You're supposed to take it early in the day and then do your cardio, but it can be kind of harsh on your stomach, but you can't eat food with it, so it's one of those things where yohimbine, it's like some people consider it to be a fat burner. You might see it in some fat burning supplements.
I've seen it
it's also a libido. Yeah. You probably would have. And it's a libido booster as well. So it's used in a different way. Probably with, maybe with some different ingredients in like some libido boosting supplements. So you'll see it both ways.
Is it like a herbal thing?
Yeah. But it's supposed to be a great little kind of fat burning boost to your cardio, but it's really like a morning thing. But I have to be careful because it's like I'll take one capsule and I'm good. But if I push it a little bit too far, it can really fuck up your stomach. So you gotta be careful,
Because I'm desperate to burn fat at the moment, but I'm not desperate enough to do more cardio. But I'm desperate for cheating. Everything that I've come across, like fat burners, all of them, the legal ones, the illegal ones, all of them, it's like, don't take with caffeine. And I'm like, I just can't give it up. Just can't give up caffeine.
Yeah. So try yohimbine actually, because you are supposed to pair it with a little bit of caffeine, probably not like a full coffee drink, but maybe like a half or a little bit less. But it is supposed to pair really well with caffeine. But I mean, at the bottom of it's just these fat burners are just, I work in marketing. I can confirm that most of this is marketing, like 99.9% of it. Like, I just wish that people would get back to the basics and just deal with the food first.
That's 100% what it is.
And it's so basic and it's so easy. I'm like, and this after tracking your, yeah, they do. And they want to spend, apparently they want to spend a lot of money on shortcuts. It's wild to me. We're always gonna want the path of least resistance, right? Like that's just human nature in anything.
Cheat codes.
Yeah.
I want cheat codes for everything.
Yeah.
Like now I'm doing Twitch. I upload the Twitch video to YouTube, and then that's 2 revenue streams for one thing.
Oh.
And now that's how I just want to live my life. I want to get 2 things
out of
everything.
Out of one action.
So like weightlifting, just pump me full of whatever's going to make that lose weight. Pump me up. I don't care anymore. I just want to just want to be a mutant. I don't even want to be a mutant. I want to be back where I was, body fat wise, and then just be a little bit smarter. Okay.
Yeah, but you're going to fuck around with the movement stuff that we talked about, right? You're going to walk a little bit more. I swear, give it even just a week. It's going to make a huge difference. Literally just
I might have to get another dog, like one that wants to be walked.
You could also just walk yourself. Yeah, a dog walk is great.
That's for fucking pedos.
Just creeps walking along.
Just going
looking at kids playing in the street.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I get from that. I feel like there's a limit to the self walk.
It's like the person who goes to a restaurant and sits alone at a table and just like reads a book.
I feel bad for those though.
That's the same as walking alone.
No, walking alone's more like kidnappy. Like restaurant is like I'm hungry. It's been a couple of times. Like I do it on tour all the time.
Yeah.
If everyone wants to eat at certain time, but that would fuck up my drumming, I go and sit on my own. Steven Glansberg, some fucking food.
Yeah. Wait, so and it would fuck up your drumming. Like, are you saying that like you don't want to eat right before you play,
exactly,
or
like training? Like if I eat, I need to eat a big good meal 3 hours before stage time.
And then time to digest. Yeah. So you feel pretty light by the time you're playing.
Yeah, if it's such a strange thing that I can't figure out what's right, because sometimes I'll eat 3 hours before, it'll be a relatively good meal, but I'll still feel sluggish. And the problem is that if I play fasted, I feel the like carbs, the glycogen 30 minutes in is gone, and then I can't, there's some stuff I can't do because my muscles aren't firing.
Yeah. I wonder if you could fuck around with like playing fasted with like a Gatorade or some sort of an electrolyte and carb source.
That's what I have usually.
You do that anyways?
That's what I have.
Yeah.
I mean, we shotgun a Red Bull before we play every single gig, and sometimes that fucks me up as well because I get the crash from the sugar about 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
So I need to get.
So this is like
just
some scientific shit. Yeah. Have you ever like worn a watch or anything and measured how many calories you burn during a show?
I stopped wearing one. I used to wear one for a while, and then when I went through my whole sleeping shit, I became obsessed with the sleep tracking to the point where it was like neurotic and it was bad for me.
Yeah.
Like,
I've had to tell people to take their watches off before. There's like a real thing where people get addicted to them.
Because like it's a good indicator of changing variables and stuff changing, but like trusting a watch over how you feel for like rested sleep is not good. Yeah, that's what I was doing. It was saying you
stop listening to your body.
Yeah, you've had 0% restful sleep, and I felt fine. And the minute I read that, boom, I'm tired.
You feel like shit. Yeah.
So I fucking stopped. But it's funny you should say that. When I was wearing the watch was the time I was the most ripped, and it was, including drumming. Like obviously, drumming isn't steps, but 25k.
It's movement
steps. Though. It was fucking. It was
it's still
every day
movement.
was 25k.
Yeah, it's still non-exercise movement, so it should be taken into account for sure. Yeah, the watches are like, they're cool. Like I'm wearing one right now. They're cool because they can be maybe motivating. I think if you look at what it's giving you, kind of objectively, like. It just pushes me to, I'm a little bit more mindful of how much I'm moving. If I'm like, oh shit, I've only gotten 7,000 steps today and it's 5 p.m. I'm like, okay, I should probably go for a walk. But at the same time, like you said, like I don't think that they're extremely accurate, but I know that at least I know when I'm on the low end, and I know when it's like when I've moved a lot, and I can see, okay, 15K felt like this, and then I can take the watch off for a few days because I know what my baseline is. And that it's the same thing with tracking food. I found that. Yeah,
I do that.
Like once you get the feel for it, you can probably take a couple days off of tracking, depending on what your goal is. And then you can jump back on when you need to kind of like recalibrate your brain. Like, oh, what does 20 grams of peanut butter look like again, and you can only, you're pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at it too. Yeah.
Wow. Please take the fucking mantle. Take the fucking mantle, because people loved it. I just don't have the calories for it. And it's such a calorific food that people don't realize.
Yeah. I don't really play with it too much.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, it doesn't. I like it. I don't love it. And also,
because you spend your calorie dollars very wisely. And
it is also. I'm sure it's also because I just don't. If I have $500 total in my life, I'm not going to go spend it on one designer purse. Exactly. I need to make that money, spread out a little bit. Yeah.
Right. So some stuff. This is quite good that that we've had a little break, because usually I do a podcast and then I think, fuck, I should have asked them this, or we should have talked about that. So there's two things that I want to talk about, and then in my head it's like I consider the podcast we've achieved podcast enlightenment. So number one that you just touched on. In fact, now we'll go back to that. So you work in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And you are technically, you probably hate the word, an influencer, right?
I don't know where the threshold is for that, but yeah,
I think it's if you have a K next to your name on Instagram. I think that's the rules.
That's all we need. Okay, perfect.
But yeah, I think because what happened in the UK, there was some court case, and they ruled that if you have 30,000 followers or above, then it counts as like a position of power, so you cannot advertise things or whatever. That was like a court case thing. So
they're not doing paid posts in the UK, like I couldn't.
I mean, they are, but I mean, like, you couldn't. You're not allowed to pretend that you like something that someone's given you for free over 30.
Yeah.
Like that's the legality of it.
Okay,
but
interesting.
But you also hate misinformation quite a lot, and you post about it loads. So working in marketing, which you must have to sell people things, but at the same time you dislike that. Is that an issue in your brain? Or
I try to just only work for companies that I really respect. and work for, work for people who have a product that they really believe in and who have a cool story. And then I try to do my own work, my day job work, in, the most authentic way that I can. And I've had moments in my marketing career. I had one, when I was working in wine, where I actually told a vice president of marketing, like I actually said no. And I think I was only like 25 or something. And it was scary, but because it was this exactly. It was just a bullshit marketing campaign that I just, I had no like respect for. And I was just like, I'm not putting this out there. And we ended up not doing it. But otherwise, I try to I work with products and people that I believe in. And luckily I've had some experience in a bunch of different industries. So I can kind of, if right now I was like, I want to go back to working in wine or coffee, like I could. Or if I want to, stick with fitness, I can do that. I see a lot of bullshit in fitness, more than anything. And I get a little bit bothered because maybe I'm just jaded because I've been doing this for a while now, but I remember being like a 24-year-old girl new to bodybuilding and just trying to soak up information. And I was just seeking out information anywhere I could get it. And looking back now, a lot of it was bullshit, and it was hard. I had to kind of like sift through a lot of bullshit to get to the good stuff. And so now it's like, if I can help a girl who, like a young girl, skip past some of the shit that I had to do and just get to the point and just get to like the truth of what she should be doing or what this industry is really like, then maybe I can save her some time or some anguish, So I just feel like now that I've been through it, like you mentioned, like responsibility. I don't know if I feel a responsibility, but I do feel like now that I've been through it, why wouldn't I share that with someone who hasn't been through it yet? I'm sure that you probably help kids who are getting into music all the time, even if it's just, they're just reaching out with like a question or something. But you're like,
I kind of do what you do, which is just call the bullshit out, and which honestly enough people aren't doing. So there's parallels between the two, and I think both things are incredibly bad for people's mental health. I'm like a double-edged sword with the whole thing, but more on this side that it's bad for people's mental health and body image and stuff like that. That the airbrushing is so much, the drugs are so much. Like in fitness, people like the allegiances people pledge to people who are obviously on gear, but they say that they're like natural, not on steroids or whatever. The blind allegiance from people to that is like not good, and the unobtainable, like
I think that's 90%, like 90% really
of
evil.
Me is 90% of me is like, this is the worst thing on fucking earth, and then there's like 10% which is like, well, it is going to push people fucking hard. But the same thing happens in drums. So there's people faking, and guitar. They fake drum playthroughs, they fake guitar playthroughs. So like are they using tracks? Is that what you're saying? Okay. But they'll do a drum playthrough for Instagram.
Yeah.
They'll take all of the audio, they'll put it into a bit of software, completely tidy everything up, basically Photoshop for music. Pro Tools, you know what Pro Tools is, we talked about this. Pro Tools it, then put it back onto the video and then put it onto Instagram.
I had no idea.
Because the way humans see and hear at different rates, you cannot tell the difference.
It's too hard. So, there's too much going on.
But there's so many of them, and these drummers and guitarists or whatever get fucking huge because everyone thinks they're the best person on the planet.
That's amazing.
Exactly the same. As fitness,
like audio Photoshop.
It's literally exactly the same.
Next time you see this, can you please send this to me because I need to see an example of this shit.
I see it on the fucking daily. Like, wow. My YouTube channel is mostly just calling these people out.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I gotta check some of this out.
You know the fucking You know, what's his name? I don't know how much, because I watch a lot of fitness YouTube, which I'm sure you fucking hate. But do you know the no plates, no dates, no plates, more dates guy?
I've heard of that, but I don't know.
Oh.
He does a YouTube channel. I mean, it's a terrible name.
I can't
but,
stand some of the fitness YouTube shit. I just can't.
But
stand
what
it.
he does is he just basically gets whoever's big right now, and he does a thing called Natty or Not,
Okay.
and he just dissects the person's physique, what they're doing on social media, and then he literally just says it's absolute bullshit, or he like questions it or whatever.
No,
but he's
great.
I think he's a doctor. So
okay.
I mean, he's probably a
I'll check
TRT
him out.
doctor, but I'm fairly sure he like he knows what he's fucking talking about.
Yeah.
So I kind of just took that concept and put it to drum videos. Like I put the drum video on and I go through and I'm like, well, you can see here that it is fucking, this is happening.
Yeah.
And then the amount of people, the hate that I get with people just saying, you're just jealous. And it's like, no, I'm not. Like, I make a career out of music. I'm very happy with my career. Like, I'm not jealous that
No, you're just making me. I just
fast.
learned something huge. Like, I had no idea until today that this was happening. So you're just making people aware of it.
But this is the thing. You probably think and know and are 100% sure that that's happening in fitness, but the average person doesn't know that.
Right.
The average person thinks, wow, that guy just trains really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, The Rock, he just trains really fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah. All of these guys in Hollywood, every single male celebrity.
That transformation from fucking what did he do? The Machinist to Batman? Oh, absolutely fucking that's normal.
Very natural. I think that if the average person tries to follow what some of these people say rather than what they do, it can be really harmful because someone could end up with an eating disorder over this because they could think
definitely have.
And they definitely end up with like body dysmorphia, of course, because there's a girl, a young girl who's like, what, or any age girl who's like, why don't I look like this? I'm doing everything that she's saying she's doing. And, and so this girl's body image and her like self-worth is just dropping because she feels like, why can't I achieve this? So I just think it's bullshit. But also like, why, if you're running some stuff, like just say it. It's not that big of a deal. Just say like, here's my diet. Here's the gear that I'm on. Here's the cardio that I do, whatever. But when they outright say, oh, all you got to do is work really hard and eat this asparagus and chicken or whatever. That's like the bullshit that I just
like
really
fair
don't
enough
respect.
If you're an actor, because it's not your job is just doing the fucking acting, like whatever. But if your job is selling fitness plans and your main fitness plan is 1.5 grams of fucking steroids a week, like
I think it should be
you need
disclosed.
to be saying that.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be promoted. Like, you don't have to say, hey, I think everyone should use Anavar. But I think that, like,
did you just say, I think everyone, or did you say, I don't think?
No, I like, like they shouldn't, you don't have to promote it because obviously that's a weird world there. But like if I post a picture of myself and I'm looking particularly good, and for the past month I've been running a little bit of whatever, I feel like I should probably disclose that. I don't know. It's just being straight with people. I don't see what's so difficult about it. And I know that bodybuilders think that they'll be perceived as cheaters. But to me, after being in bodybuilding for about 10 years now, it's not cheating. It's just the way that everyone does it. It's just the norm. So when I hear that someone's running something, it's never like a shock. It's like, yeah, we all are. Everyone is. Like, and if you have to ever ask if someone's natty or not, they're probably not. If you 100%. Have to ask, like, we know what a natural body looks like and what a non-natural body looks like.
It's the fucking shoulders. You can just call it
if they pop,
immediately.
If they're tight, if they pop and they're tight, there's this fullness paired with tightness that is just not how people walk around.
That is just
gorgeous.
Normally.
And it's beautiful. But
despite everything we just said, and it's fucking wonderful.
But it's just the norm in this industry that I'm in. So it doesn't I don't know. I don't look at it as like something crazy. It's just like, yeah, okay, everyone's doing it. Just tell us what you're doing, you know? And
Well,
yeah.
I used to train at a gym where with the guy that owned it's an IFBB guy, and the two guys that worked there. So there was him. I'm not going to fucking name any names. But it was him, and there was another guy that competed naturally, and they trained together all the time. And I trained with both of them, and was just around the gym with them, and the amount the natty guy had to do harder in every element was crazy. His diet was fucking horrible. Like when he was cutting, he was just miserable constantly. And then on the flip side, the guy with a little bit of help was relatively just fucking cruising through.
Yeah. And at what line, it's like that's essentially what it is. It's a little bit of help. Okay, well, pre-workout is a little bit of help before your workout, or even taking some Trim Tech before you do cardio is a little bit of help. So like, where do we draw the line between what's like cheating and what's not cheating? So to me, I don't really care anymore. I cared right when I got into bodybuilding. And I was natural, and then I realized that everyone else was not. I got a little bit bitter, and I was like, I'm going to do this naturally. I got my pro card naturally, and then as soon as I got into pros, I was like, okay, no. But really, I haven't run much at all. Like I played around with SARMs more kind of in like a biohacking way. And then steroid wise, I've tried a little bit of Anavar. I've given it a shot a few times. I hate it. My body hates it. It is how it's fine. And I just don't want to mess with it anymore. I keep giving it chances because people are like, no, just try it one more time. You're going to love it. I'm like, So I hate it, but I'm open to others using whatever they need to use in a healthy way. That's the problem though, is that it gets unhealthy. So if you can do it in a healthy way, great. A little bit of extra help, that's fine. We all use different methods of extra help. That can be anything.
To me, it's fascinating. Like, just nothing like that exists for drumming. I guess there's no like, except maybe doing it. I don't know, but there's
but what about like is a metronome cheating?
I fucking hope not, because I use it all the time.
But you know what I mean?
Like juiced up.
But things that help you either like stay on time or whatever. Like,
I guess triggers and stuff like that. There's a whole world of that stuff. But I know a guy that's just started a trend cycle like 4 weeks ago, and I mean, I can tell his mental health is absolutely fucking out the fucking window because of it. But also the mutant transformation in 4 weeks cannot be good for you.
Exactly. Yeah. I like sustainable. Insane. I like slow and steady a little bit more. I've heard really bad things about Tren and guys suddenly treating their girls really badly. That's the kind of shit that's like, it's just not worth it. Like,
exactly. Like, it's, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, because you probably don't, because it's a music podcast, it's an anabolic steroid which is designed to make cattle grow twice as much muscle.
There you go.
And people started using it themselves.
Yeah.
But it has like a whole host of fucking, that's the one where someone will try and kill their wife.
Yeah, it's horrible. And there's the building stuff, and then there's the cutting stuff too. Have you ever played with Clen at all?
No, because of the caffeine thing.
Yeah, I had to try it. I had to use a small dose for a prep one time. Maybe it worked a little bit, but man, it makes you really crazy. And I just don't want that feeling.
Like crazy in the brain.
Yeah. Like I think that Andy was touring, and I was prepping for a show, and I was taking Clen, like a small dose, and I looked out my window and there was a car. I lived in a condo complex at the time, and there was a car parked in the parking lot, which, as you know, in a condo complex, there's like multiple spots.
Yeah.
I think that and it was running, and I think that they were waiting for a friend or something, or it was like an Uber or something. And I got convinced in my head that they were like casing my house and that they were watching me. And I was like, okay.
That's not good.
All right. So clearly there's like something going on here. And I think I immediately stopped Clen. But yeah, it was that kind of like anxiety. Like no amount of like shreddedness is ever going to be worth feeling like that.
Yeah. I think that's the appeal in biohacking, isn't it? Like, you want to get the results naturally, just a little bit of help, but from fucking like herbs and
and your food. Like, I changed my food around quite a bit over the last year. I started eating a lot more fiber. I got really, really into fiber. And I have been able to eat the same amount of calories, if not more, and actually get a lot tighter. And within a few weeks, I got really tight to the point where people were like, what are you doing? Like, did you cut your calories? Like, are you cutting for a show? I'm like, no, I literally just swapped out some of my carbs that didn't have a lot of fiber for ones that did. And it's just, and I just tightened up. And there's a bunch of science behind that, but yeah, fiber is the shit. And so like little hacks like that, I would rather use to get tight than some supplement.
Yeah.
Which is just like a Band-Aid on top of your bullshit, you know?
For sure. Oh, I wish I wasn't so bloated. I think the problem is, I think what's happening is, I think it is working because my strength is plateaued. So I know that I'm in a calorie deficit. Like, because that always fucking happens to me.
Okay.
But I'm at the stage when it's like, I feel deflated because I'm in a calorie deficit, and my muscles feel, unless I've just done a workout, they feel flat.
Yeah.
And then it's the weird stage. It's like when you're a bit fat and you're strong and you're full of carbs, you're like, I can handle this because I just look like a fucking legend. Mm-hmm. And then there's the middle ground where you're like weak and feel fluffy. That's where I am right now. But then once you lose that last bit, everyone thinks that you're fucking huge, but you're actually so much smaller.
You're smaller, but it's all just popping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can just play around with your macros and just play around with like taking your fats down a little bit and your carbs up a little bit, something like that.
My fats are
they already low? You said you're not
low.
Okay. Yeah. That's scary.
Like, because I love carbs. But so
yeah, I would rather have high carbs than low fat too.
I have a bit of salmon for dinner. That's my fats. Oh,
okay.
And I guess oats have some.
Oh, like 2 grams or something. Yeah,
But this one bit of salmon is where all the fat in my day comes from.
Do you fuck around with like pre and post workout nutrition, like your carbs, and you're already doing that? Okay. Yeah.
But what I might do, I think I might move my post workout carbs, half of them pre-workout.
Okay.
Because I felt like I needed the energy today.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is the shit. This is like the micromanagement that people have to be willing to do, which is like, it's a lot of work. It's like, full shit. Do I need to take my fats down? Okay. I'm going to try that. And then, okay, that didn't work. Okay. This works. And it's a lot of that I think that's just what people don't want to do. They're like, let me just skip forward and just skip all this shit. But I have fun with this stuff though. I love to like shift some carbs and go, oh, cool. That just made me feel awesome. Or I look a little bit better. Okay, let's keep going with that. I think that's really fun. I think if you're going to have a hobby, that's a pretty cool hobby.
Yeah, it's fun if results happen though. Like, give me the fucking shortcut. Give me the fucking results. No, I'm basically, I've gone back to the same foods that I was eating when I was at my most ripped. But I think you nailed it, that I'm just doing less. And the thing is, what I was doing back then was I would go to the gym and play drums every single day. That's so much. So many calories. And walk a dog.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But I also I burnt out. But I looked sick.
That's a trade-off. But yeah, that's like, I always want to match my intake to my output. So as soon as the pandemic hit and I was like a weekend and I went, okay, like when we were really, really shut down and I kind of wasn't doing shit. I was like really stuck at home. I called my coach and I was like, hey, I've just kind of assessed what my activity level was for the past week. It's not good. Take calories away, because I always want to match it. And it's okay. Like, because I'm eating to fuel myself. So it's okay to drop calories down if I just don't need them. So we dropped them way down, and we dropped them down low enough that the average person might have been like, oh, well, your calories are too low. It's like, okay, I'm also just stuck in my house. There is no reason for me. I think I dropped into the 1300s, which for the majority of my life, that's going to be too low. But at the time it was perfect, and it kept me from blowing up. And I just didn't really need the fuel. I was doing little like at home band workouts. We hadn't built the gym yet. And I just wasn't really moving that much. And then as I started to get more movement, we started to buy more exercise equipment. As I started to, be able to go back into a gym, I would call my coach and say, okay, now I'm doing this much, so let's add in a little bit more. And then we kept kind of playing with it. But yeah, if your activity level is lower, you either have to increase activity again or drop calories, You
mentioned a home gym.
Yeah.
What have you got in there? How are you going back to like public gyms as well, or what's your vibe?
Like once in a while, but so you have to wear the masks here in the public gyms. And well, at least, if you go to one of the big chain ones, but some of the smaller, like family owned ones, I don't really care. But I have an LA Fitness membership. You have to wear it, and it's just not ideal for working out. It's really not good for you. So, we try to avoid that. So we built up this, we bought a house last year, and, we started to build up the garage gym. So we have a squat rack. We've got 2 benches. We've got a ton of kettlebells, just a few dumbbells. We've got like a set of 25s, a set of 10s, and a set of 15s. We need to buy a few more heavy sets for Andy. Like, I'm good with 25s, but, and then some cool cardio stuff. Like I bought, battle ropes. We got the sandbag thing with the handles, because that's great
sick
for Andy with wrestling, because he needs to be able to train to like pick someone up and throw them.
Up,
yeah. So, he got the sandbag. Otherwise he just uses me.
Nice.
So that's, and then I bought a sauna, that was like my pandemic gift to myself.
Wow.
The sauna, and then a treadmill. And the treadmill's been awesome, because living in
this fucking house.
Well, so I'm in the basement right now. The cool thing about Buffalo that I wasn't used to, because I'm from LA, is that every house here just has a basement, like a fully like operational basement that people use.
So sick.
Yeah. So that was new to me. I'm like, really? Everyone has this? So, so now down here we have Andy's like music stuff, so he can play. We've got a TV and like a rug so that we can do basement workouts, because here you have to plan for the winter. That's why I bought the treadmill. I would love to get outside every day, and that's what you should be doing. But I had to get the treadmill, and I use the treadmill actually not just for like cardio, but just in the winter, just like shit, I need to get steps. I need to move, because otherwise I was getting like 3,000 steps a day. And so
you miss LA.
Not really. And we went back recently.
Even the weather.
No. I'm not a hot weather person. It's really weird. I want rain. I want like UK weather. I want clouds and rain every fucking day. I know it's weird. I know. I lived in Seattle. I loved it. It was rainy for like a year. So we went back to LA recently. It's really depressing right now. It's just, it bums me out. It looks like a bomb went off. Like, it's just very post-apocalyptic, and a lot of, really sad stuff. So we're going to go back there in 3-ish weeks. So I'm going to go see my family for my birthday, and that'll be nice. But yeah, LA's kind of brutal right now. I love Buffalo. Actually, I
can't believe you want shit weather.
I don't know.
I will end up. Your healthcare fucking stinks. I don't know where I'm going to end up. I just want to be somewhere hot eventually.
You like to be hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like desert hot?
At the very least. But the thing is, in the UK, sometimes you can have a whole summer that sucks, and then you get one entire year of shit weather.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would
That
like it. I
fucking
thrive.
sucks.
I thrive in the rain. And then, like, I don't like to be hot. I don't like to sweat. And then I've got Andy, of course, who's just like a constant heater. And that poor guy cannot be in the heat. So
He loves the buffalo, just fucking rolling around in the snow.
yeah. So yeah.
I think that's us.
Okay. Cool.
It's probably a real fucking long one because we technically did 2.
I did 2 podcasts in one. Yeah. Well, hopefully it all makes sense put together. I'm sure you'll edit.
I'm not editing anything. I'll edit the fucking little stop, but that's it. I don't bother. I just can't be bothered.
Okay.
And like
perfect.
people prefer a long form, just conversation. You get to know someone a little bit better and stuff. It's fine.
Next time, will you get into care? Will you wear your makeup for our? I'll wear makeup.
I can't. Here's the thing. I can't do it myself. So
I was gonna ask what you're doing there. Like, have you learned how to do it? Like doing tutorials.
She does everything for me.
Okay.
So I absolutely fucking love RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
And
isn't it fascinating? The makeup is like fascinating. Yeah.
So I was like, do me up. And then she did me up, and I was like, I kind of look kind of hot. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do this on Twitch. And then now it's just become a thing.
Do people like it?
I do it every month.
Yeah.
So it's like my subscription goal for the month is to do something as Anne at the end. So this month, we just hit it the other day. So this month I'm doing like a advice columnist. So I have like an anonymous thing set up for people to message in, and people have messaged some real juicy shit. We got some secretly bisexual people that haven't told their partner, like serious like agony aunt shit, and I'm going to answer it all as Anne.
That's really cool. I like it.
And it's sick. And I get
the
paid
next
for
step,
it, so
that's cool.
better.
The next step is now you have to like watch the videos and actually learn how to do it yourself.
Well, here is the thing that I haven't told many people. So before the fucking pandemic, I was going to do stand-up. I was going to go and do some stand-up comedy.
Cool.
And then now I'm like...
I'm a huge fan of stand-up. Did you see that the Comedy Store, and I don't know if people in the UK care, but the Comedy Store in LA just opened for the first time since the pandemic started. They opened either yesterday or the day before. And that's like the signal to me that like comedy's going to be okay.
It's coming back. Yeah. I had there's a big UK comedian called Ed Gamble who he's like on TV all the time in the UK, but he's come on the pod before, and he said he did some live stream comedy shows, and they were fucking horrible because you couldn't feed off the audience.
No, that's not good.
He did a drive-in one, and he didn't realize that people would use their horns instead of laughing.
Yeah.
And apparently it was just the fucking worst thing ever. But I was planning, I've got a thing written out. I've got a whole thing written out, obviously, to go off on tangents. But then now I'm like, do I just double down and just do it as Anne? And just fucking double down on the whole thing?
I mean, if you want to like... I don't know. I feel like maybe it would get more press. I don't know.
I get fucking shitloads. Yeah. I live for the algorithm right now. That's why I'm fucking doing it.
You live for the algorithm. That's
give me the fucking give me the extra press. And then, like, it's not like I'm deceitful. Like, I fucking love doing it. It's like I'm not being like, oh, he's just doing it for money. It's like, no, I fucking love doing it, but also pay me.
Also, I want some articles written about me.
Yes, I would like to be paid for what I'm doing. For enjoying
You want that
myself.
story that's like, this drummer is also a stand-up comedian and does it all in women's whatever. Like, you want that BuzzFeed article.
A drag queen. Yeah, and then I want the fucking... So why are you doing this? Like, everyone's so quick to give it a fucking label. So Let me tell you this.
It's going to offend
I put a fucking
people.
dress on, and it was fucking sick. And now I want to be paid for it. Goodbye.
I think it can be that straightforward, and I think a lot of people, just like the outrage culture people, they'll find a way to be real offended by it, even though it's really just you just having fun. I don't know. It's always got to be something with these people.
I don't know where the line of those people is now, because
I don't know. It changes every day.
Exactly. I feel like I would be I could shut down either side. There would be outrage on, I reckon, either side.
There's always going to be something. Yeah.
I could shut them both down.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want, and
Yeah.
you should be okay with that.
Yeah, and
everyone.
Exactly. And all you can do is just not care, really, and just kind of stay in your lane.
Well, before I did it on Twitch, I got clearance from friends of mine that would have the right to be offended. I was like, yeah, is this gonna be offensive?
Yeah.
And all of them said no.
Yeah, because of course you're not out to hurt people, right? You have good intentions. Like, the only people that we should ever get angered by are the ones who have bad intentions. Like, for me, it's all about intent.
Politicians.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Every single fucking one.
Like, to me, it's very black and white. You either have good intentions, and maybe you like to make a dark joke, or you like to do some weird shit in comedy, but your intentions are still good. I'll never be offended. Or there's just truly bad people. And I think that those are the people that we should be going after, but they kind of seem to just skate by sometimes. And then people are going after the ones who actually are just sweethearts and they're just having fun with something. And I think that that's bullshit. It's ridiculous.
Everyone is, I'm like, I don't know. I enjoy that more people are mobilizing to express genuine, like, not offense, but stuff that they genuinely believe in. But at the same time, I think the pandemic has made a lot of people who, if the world was open, wouldn't be at protests or wouldn't be at this, wouldn't be at that, feel like sitting at home and fucking writing a couple of tweets is the same as being on the streets. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of that happens. Yeah.
I think that the pandemic has kind of, I've said this to someone that this whole situation reminds me of a mushroom trip, because the pandemic basically took all of our shit, whatever our own personal shit was, and it just blew it up and put it in all of our faces. And it was like, hey, here's this thing that you have to work on. And that's what mushrooms, when you do them in a very therapeutic way, that's what they do. It's like spring cleaning for your brain. It'll pull something out and go, hey, here's this interesting thing. You probably need to work on it. And you go, oh yeah, I didn't even know. Okay, I'm going to work on that. And that's what the pandemic has done for a lot of people. So it's been like one big mushroom trip where like your shit gets exposed.
That's like a real clever way of thinking about it, because I was saying that the other day, like, not how you just summed it up, but the pandemic forced me into realizing a lot of tendencies I have, a lot of cruxes that I have, a lot of worries that I have that I've now realized mean nothing, a lot of the way that I am with friends or whatever, all just came out at this fucking time.
Yeah.
And then
it was kind of like
I feel like if I go, like, going back to touring, I said it the other day, I was like, I wonder if my friends will, like, notice that I'm different, because I've definitely had a spring cleaning of the brain.
They will. And it exposed good things too. But did you notice over the past year that your friends who were in relationships that probably were a little bit shitty, a lot of those relationships just imploded because now you're forced to be with someone, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's a good thing. It showed you, hey, this just isn't the person, so it's time to move on. And maybe that relationship would have drug on for like 3 more years without being stuck with the person. Or the flip side, like what you've experienced, what I've experienced, is that the pandemic actually showed us something really cool, which was that, hey, you're stuck with someone and you guys, if anything, like, you love each other more after this. You're not sick of each other. Like, I'm not, I have never gotten sick of Andy. And we've had times when we have been stuck together for like long periods of time. And it's very cool to see, okay, cool. We're strong enough to, we're in a good spot. But I've also had friends who was like a few months in and it just crashed and burned.
I have so many of them.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly like, I tell you what, the one thing, the main sort of spring cleaning thing, it all ties into the same thing, is that I have always had for the last I have nearly been touring for 20 years now. So, but my first tour when I was 16, so I've been touring for like 18 years. I have forever worried, what is the retirement plan? What if I injure myself and I can't play the drums? Like, what will I fucking do? How will I cope being at home? I fucking hate being at home. What will I do for work or whatever? And having done the pandemic now and come out with essentially a new career, I'm like, that worry that's been in the back of my head for years is gone. And I'm like, okay, I'll be fine.
Yeah, that's really cool. See, that's a really cool lesson. Yeah.
And it's only now that it's ending that I'm starting to see like, oh shit. Like, I know that when I go back to touring as well, I'm just going to have fun. There's stuff that I wouldn't do because, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? Like, I am just, I've been gifted a dream life for some people. And sometimes an old friend will ask me if I want to go for a beer before the show, and then in my head I think, I better not have a beer because it might slow me down later, blah, 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 blah. I'm fucking going for that beer now. I'm just doing whatever. Yeah.
And bands are probably going to start to tour a bit differently and a bit more kind of like work smarter, not harder. Like, okay,
you've definitely had some chats with Andy, because every musician I know is
that's just how they're thinking, huh?
You know this thing that we used to do?
Yeah, nope. No, not doing it. Yep. No. It's great though. That's a great lesson, especially after you've been doing it for, like you said, you've been doing it for 20 years. He's been doing it for 22, 23 years. And it's like, okay.
I mean, he's been doing it harder than me.
But like, now's the time to be like, okay, how can we do this a little bit more, in a smarter way? Still make some money.
The notorious van band.
Yeah.
Notorious van band.
Yeah, I mean, that's never going to end. That's never going to end. They love their fans.
Oh, I thought that's what you were getting at, but fucking hell. No, but there's loads of it. Because people will just go, sorry, Karen.
But maybe they won't, I don't know, but maybe they won't do it for 3 months on end. Like, they love their vans. The van's not going anywhere. But they all, I think, also they've all learned how to be at home. Like, Andy wasn't used to that. He hated it, like you said, hated being home, just wanted to get back on there. And now he's kind of like, I like this, I'm doing some projects on the house, I'm walking the dogs, like he's hanging out with me. And so, I think he is thinking about it a little bit differently. I don't know that he's going to want to be gone for, I don't know, it's every time I die, we'll see.
Yeah, they'll be touring, but I'm the same. A lot of my friends are the same. Like, we think we used to do insane shit. We did a 6-week Sprinter tour, sleeping upright in the van. Sometimes we would wake up, we would drive for 5 hours to play a festival at 11 a.m. and then drive for 8 hours to play another festival that night. Like, flat out, that will get proposed, and I will say, I'll go, nope. Okay, what are you going to do then? I will fucking go home, turn my little fucking light on, and talk to some people on the internet. And I think it's going to be great for bands. I think it might be a little bit shit for tour bookers. They've already got it pretty fucking bad, but people just they're not going to take it. It might be even good for smaller bands who are willing to fucking do everything because they haven't tasted pain yet, right? Because they'll have more opportunities.
Yeah, it's cool though that this forced everyone to work on some sort of other income. So now they have more of a backup plan, which a lot of musicians or other types of artists, whatever, might not have had a backup plan. But now, over the past year and a half, they've probably come up with something. They've probably been working on something. So now they have a little bit more balance in their lives. And now, like you said, you'll be like, okay, I'll play this show and then I'll go home and I'll do some Twitch stuff. And, you're more well-rounded now. It's like when they talk about like investing your money, how you need to diversify. Like, you wouldn't just put all your money into one basket, you would try to diversify it so that if one thing goes down, something else might kind of supplement it and balance it out. Well, now you have like you have options basically.
You want to be
really
in
important.
Bitcoin as well as fucking Doge.
I don't know shit about any of that. I haven't gotten into it.
I have gone nuts on it. I spend my whole day checking shit, trading shit, flipping shit.
See, that's me and my hormones.
Honestly, and it feels, because I invested like a small amount early on, then what that turned into feels like real, like fake money. So I just feel like I'm playing a game on my phone.
Yeah.
But actually, it's not
it's
a fucking game.
It's your money.
Okay, I need, I didn't warn you about this, I'm sorry. I need let's make it topical. I need your top 5 either songs or records for the gym. What do you put on a workout?
So Meshuggah for sure. Meshuggah is like always. That's like just always. Like I think anyone who lifts weights is probably gonna say Meshuggah. It's funny. I would say Gojira, but Andy and I had a conversation about Gojira yesterday. We were listening to the new album, and I'm having like pride. I see how you're looking at me. I'm torn with them. I love them, but I'm a little bit torn. And I don't.
With the new one.
I don't hate the new album, but I don't super love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit I get a little bit tired sometimes with them. I feel like that band for me is a band that I just want, the only place I really ever want to listen to them is like at like a festival in Europe. Like I was saying that to Andy yesterday. I was like, this is a Europe festival, like huge audience festival band. Like, and I don't
First
always
time I ever saw him.
Yeah,
exactly,
I think it's just setting. Kind of that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Meshuggah for sure. Every Time I Die, I have like different playlists of different songs for different types of workouts. So I have my cardio songs, which are like some of the older stuff, like In Rehab and like Champing at the Bit, where it's just like really, really fast, like great for sprints.
How did you meet each other?
We were like Instagram friends because we kind of knew some of the similar people because he does some stuff in fitness with powerlifting and stuff. And we were just like friends, and we would talk back and forth every now and then. And we had a couple of mutual friends. And then I was in New York City. I was there to see Joe Rogan with a girlfriend. I flew there from LA, and I flew in a day early. And I just like mentioned to him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in New York. And he was like, oh, you want to get dinner? I was like, okay.
Yeah. And then, you smooth dog.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we had dinner, and then we did long distance for 1.5 years, which I think is like exactly 1.5 years, which I think made us really strong. I think that was really good for us. And I only could have done that in my 30s. Like with the kind of, I have more emotional maturity now. Like this relationship never would have happened if I was in my 20s. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. Like 1.5 years of long distance with him touring for that like entire 1.5 years. And then adding, wrestling into it. But that made us really, it was hard, but that made us really strong. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cute. Right, give me two more bands that you listen to at the gym.
Who else do I listen to? So Between the Buried and Me will always be I have such a soft spot for them because when I got my pro card, I listened to, it was right when Parallax 2 came out, and I believe it was sometime around then because that was my album, and I listened to that album every single day during my prep leading up to getting my pro card, and then I got my pro card. And it was a really hard prep. And I love that album. I love them. I've loved them since I was 16, I think. I went to a Kill Switch show and they opened. And when I walked in, they were playing the Bicycle Song. And I love Queen. And I was like, what is this? I love them a lot. Otherwise, I like Acacia Strain, stuff like Meshuggah and Acacia Strain is great for like big lifts, like when I need to be kind of like tough, Otherwise, I'll just do something that's kind of like fun. you know.
You like a lot of instrumental shit, because I used to always see back in the day when I just followed you on Instagram for fucking no
Yeah, I like
reason.
some of the proggy instrumental stuff, like Pliny and
Leaders, Pliny, Intervals.
yeah, I do. And so I'll use that kind of stuff to kind of get into more of like a zone. I'll listen to Pliny, you know, in the sauna. Pliny with weed is really great.
I listen to Pliny while painting my house. That's all I listen to.
Really?
Literally. It was just great painting music. I fucking love instrumental music. I have two. Honestly, I only like heavy shit with vocals when I'm at the gym. I like probably hip hop when I'm just listening to music, and then when I'm doing something or traveling, instrumental music. I either like all the words, shout the words, or no words. I hate that middle, like, here's a fucking chorus. No, go away.
Yeah, I guess I might be kind of similar in that sense. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look back. I've been working on putting some playlists together just because sometimes someone will ask. And I'm trying to create some different playlists for different things or different moods, different strains of weed that I might use for different lifts, because I'm kind of scientific with some of that stuff. Yeah, so I'm working on some like 2021 playlists. I'll have to send them.
Do a heavy workout playlist, and I'll put it on the Downbeat thing. When we had Bryce, the powerlifter, Bryce Krachek, Calgary barbell guy, on the pod, he made like a powerlifting program, like a PDF, and people fucking loved it. So
that's awesome.
Make me a workout playlist.
Yeah, I will.
Downbeat one.
That's a good idea. Okay.
This has been probably fucking 3 hours by this point. So
probably we did.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate
Send my
you.
love to
Thanks
Andy.
for having me.
It was a pleasure.
Send
my love to Andy and send me your files, please.
Okay, I will.
Cool.
All right.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.